We're rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nerdbuzzed!
Nerdbuzzed doesn't condone the consumption of alcohol by any persons under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome to Nerdbuzzed, the podcast where we talk about all the nerdy stuff that we care about and drink a cool frosty brew while we're doing it. I'm your host, Marcus Ellinger, and with me for every single episode,
Jeremiah Johnson.
And also with me for every single episode, whoop, that corner,
Gary Webb.
Gary Webb, or at Slade Steelsoul. Go find him on Twitter.
Yes.
Give him a hard time. It's his favorite thing.
Yes.
Just do not give him your personal phone number, or else he will text you like crazy about superhero stuff.
So what is it? It's 88 hours now?
Something like that.
So I think this is going to work. I think we're recording and everything should go great. It's been a little rusty. We had to blow a little dust off the seats. But I think everybody's everything's up and running. We got some beers in our glass.
Don't worry, you've already worked that one out.
Oh, thanks. I ate some deviled eggs before we started, so it's about to get real
Old
fragrant.
school?
Let's
Yeah.
call it fragrant.
This would be why I teleconference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, some of those deviled eggs are good. You might be able to smell it over there. So did we pick the same beer at least? Looks like we did.
Yeah, I thought there was only one, but the rest is actually two. So
Nice. We're drinking...
we are drinking Founders Dirty Bastard Scotch style ale, not Scottish style ale.
Which means more alcohol. At least that's what the interwebs told me. And always believe what the interwebs
Everything
tell
the
you.
internet says
Yes.
is true.
It's full of very helpful, positive information. So we're going to drink it. We're going to talk about Endgame. We have to talk about this movie. It's been 11 years
11
coming
years
to
in the
this
making.
point. The 22nd MCU movie. Is that correct, Gary?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm checking. You're my fact checker.
That's all right. I can do that. I'm down with that.
So I made a quick list of some questions. Is there anything that you just have to start off the conversation with as the you're kind of like my superhero what are those
Hero?
things like the Oracle?
Yes.
Oracle,
Okay,
that's what I
Oracle.
was thinking of. Yeah. So you're my superhero hero Oracle.
Well, I mean, there's really not. I mean, you can start anywhere. There's so much wrapped into what's coming up here. I mean, like you said, this is 11 years, 22 movies. I mean, that's a whole season of television episodes, and they've done it in a cinematic fashion. And outside of maybe a handful of them, none of them are bad. And this is it. I mean, things will change. People are moving on. The core cast that we've come to love for so many years, that's come to epitomize what those characters were on the page. And it all changes after this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think just the state of Disney itself is going to be so different after this movie that just that alone, regardless of characters staying or going, is going to affect everything after this. Just the next couple years with what Disney has purchased with Fox and what they're doing with their streamings, it's just going to change.
And that's one of the things that is, from what I've read, is changing, is they're doing a lot of what would have been this story arc in series. They're going to extend that through the network television side of it.
Yeah.
So,
A lot of the
like, series
characters are
and
going
stuff
to
to
be,
follow
they're going to get their own shows.
Yeah.
With the true cast members. That's what I'm so excited for. I mean, I think I sent you the picture of what their homepage is going to look like. And you had, your Disney tab, you had your Pixar tab, you had your Marvel tab, you had your Star Wars tab. I'm like, that is everything all in one roof. They really are going to control everything. But
Right, I've never been so happy for the crazy conglomerate, right? It scares the hell out of me, to be honest with you, but it's so awesomely exciting. I'm pretty stoked for it.
They own your childhood.
They do. They totally own such a huge part of my childhood. It's crazy.
dude, if they bought Hasbro and therefore got the Transformers license and the G.I. Joe license and probably He-Man as well, I hear they're making one of those, they would have everything from my childhood.
Right? I guess other than DC.
Well, yeah,
But
okay.
but
yeah,
I think but there's no way that Marvel and DC should ever kind of totally exist under the same roof. It's the rivalry that makes them so sweet. Right?
No, because that would be Warner Brothers, and they're the second biggest game left in town now that Fox is gone. And what if Disney got that? I mean, it's kind of like what's happening with Hulu. They're going to have 65% of the controlling shares. Universal, maybe? I can't remember who it is that owns the remaining 35%, but I mean, they literally have next to no power because they have such an overwhelming majority.
Yeah. What would, as the super fans of the MCU, I think I can say that pretty, for all of us here with total confidence that we are super MCU fans. We've completely enjoyed this journey from Iron Man to End Game. It's been so much fun to be there for the whole ride. I've seen so many of those movies so many times.
Yes.
Like I've burned through them all multiple times, and I've had my favorites in there that I watched over and over and over. So,
as a cliche as that is, I have been sitting down and watching everyone that I can find. From as old as I can go to back again. Hulk did suck, though. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's bad.
But for the time, it wasn't bad compared to
bad.
The Hulk movie before it. What was it? Incredible Hulk? Was that the one right before it?
The Incredible Hulk.
That one was bad. But I mean, the other one, I mean, if it had been Ruffalo, or if what's his name? Edward
Norton.
Had he continued on, it would have changed everything. I'm glad he left because Ruffalo's done such a knockout job with it. But I mean, that's part of it. I mean, it feels so disconnected because I mean, it's a different Hulk. Betty, who's the other pivotal protagonist, isn't in anything else. Thunderbolt didn't show up again until Civil War. I think I think Civil War's right. I mean, it doesn't feel as connected. It doesn't feel as if it's part of the. It's not as tightly interwoven in the tapestry.
Yeah. So, as the super fans, is there anything that you absolutely want to see from Endgame? Like, is there anything that you really are just clamoring for this movie to do, and it basically has to do this to sell it for you?
They need to assemble.
Yes, they need to assemble.
They need to assemble.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
He's got to do it. He has to do it at some point. They've teased. Shit.
It is titled Avengers. They have to come together.
Sorry, I forgot. I keep wiggling the controller. The headset dies. They teased it. What at the end of? Oh yeah, Age of Ultron. He goes Avengers, and then they cut to black. And I mean, he hasn't said it yet. He's got to do it at least once, right?
Yes, before you go, for sure. I want to hear him say it. I totally want the classic moment. I want the fist in the air with the assemble and everything.
When we get into speculation territory, I got something involving the assemble.
Okay. I think the biggest thing that I really want from Infinity War for me personally is
Endgame.
From Endgame. Thank you. See, this is why he's the Oracle.
Infinity War 2.
Yeah. Infinity War also.
Infinity War again. It's infinite. It doesn't end.
Yeah. I want whatever happens in Endgame to affect the rest of the MCU movies after it. Like, I don't want Endgame to happen and them to like rewind time and just like it never happened, like a dream. It was a dream or what, something like that. Mm-hmm. Where now they just get to keep going after that without really ever acknowledging that it happened. Like, I want it to affect the heroes that come after, and I also really want it to affect just like the world the world in general. Like, I want the world to be more aware of superheroes now. I want it to change the course of the other heroes growing. Like, it needs to impact them in the future movies.
Well, I think that what they started with Captain Marvel, they clearly set it up starting there for the Secret Wars.
Well, maybe, yeah.
With this, they set it up well for that.
Yeah.
So.
And the Russos have said that would get them back in the directing chair. And let's face it, Marvel would be dumb not to try to get them back again after all the money they've made them. But yeah. I don't think Endgame can happen without affecting it going forward. It can't be a completely clean wipe. Otherwise, that means nobody dies. None of the people who we know are leaving the series. There's not going to be the heroic sacrifice to immortalize them if it completely gets undone. There will be no explanation for why, oh, wait, where's Captain America? He's just gone all of a sudden.
Yes. Well, and even if, let's say nobody dies, right? And the old Avengers just kind of step down and retire, I still want them to be remembered by the new team that comes up, right? And they have to remember the things that they did in the movies before, and then maybe not make those choices now, or have at least the previous Avengers decisions affect the way they would make decisions down the road, right? Like I want the 11 years that we've all really enjoyed, even though I think it is going to make this big change, I still want that experience to be relevant going forward.
And not just a government council saying that they did something.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
I want that. I want it to be so relevant that it's ingrained in all the future heroes, and it will impact their decisions going forward. But not only them, but it'll impact just the civilians of the MCU world, the innocent bystanders that are there, because now they have more of an awareness also, right? Like I just want the whole universe to really be aware of everything that's happened over the 11 years. I don't want them to like start over in any way by just wiping it clean.
I mean, if they do that, it's going to go again. It's going to completely destroy the thing that is the MCU's biggest legacy. Is that it's all intertwined. It's all connected. Everything affects everything else. And I mean, if they do that, then that undermines the whole, like I said, the whole foundation that it's built on. And especially if you're losing, say Chris Evans, possibly Robert Downey Jr. At a minimum, they're not going to be as front and center and in everything like they are. If you don't still have that foundation where everything adds together, I don't see what's going to continue, how Marvel could see that as a way that they're going to be able to continue the dominance they've been getting, because people will realize that, I mean, at the end of the day, all that stuff that they got so heavily invested in, it really didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a disservice to the fans.
Totally, I agree. It does, like, it already matters so much in the real world, right? That, like, in our, like, actual real universe, that they can't ignore it in the in the MCU. They just can't. Like, it has to be relevant.
No.
It has to matter, and it has to affect everything from now on. I'm hoping for, like, for good and bad, right? Like, I want it to have repercussions from this movie that is going to affect the universe negatively, but I also want it to like create that awareness just for the legacy that has happened, and that could maybe impact it also in a positive way. But I hope that there's like both sides of the coin there that still impact everything after it. It would make it really relevant and matter. So you kind of touched on people dying. How do you guys feel as far as will anyone actually die?
Somebody has to.
Somebody will, yes. Somebody's going to make the sacrifice.
Who do you think, Jay? Who's going to die?
Boy.
Maybe we should start with not necessarily a fresh...
I think it'd be probably the most Captain America thing to do.
To be the sacrifice?
Yeah.
I mean, he's already done it once.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I know that he wants out, right? I know Robert Downey Jr. wants... I mean, he's got to be getting close to the end. I don't know if he's still cool with making $50 million a film, or what. I'm sure it just keeps going up, right? It's like, I don't know how much money you need, but that can only be a motivator for so long, right?
Yeah, eventually I can't spend anymore, guys. Just keep it. Do something with it, because I literally can't spend it.
When I'm not shooting the movie, I'm actually Iron Man, just flying around anyway, because I've got enough money to build a suit, so I don't know what else I'm supposed to do here, guys. I'm method acting now, outside of the role.
That's why I'm such a good Tony Stark. You've made me him.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you funded it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's tough to say. Would you be okay if nobody died and they all just kind of accepted what had happened and they can't handle like the team anymore and they need to step down, and so they just kind of like pass the torch?
I mean, I would be okay with it, because, I mean, let's face it, up to this point, in the MCU, particularly the Russo brothers, have not let us down. So, I mean, if they all survive, there's a reasoning behind it. It's advancing something, it's building to something. And it's not going, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure somebody will die. But, I mean, if they don't, it's going to be for a reason, and I have faith that they're going to make it a justifiable one.
So, as far as somebody dying, right? Do we think that anybody could be do we think that anybody is dead that died in the first one? Like, are they really dead and they're just never going to come back again?
Heimdall.
Heimdall. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right? Like, even Loki, I'm not willing to totally 100% say Loki is dead, right? No, he gets a TV show, right?
No, because, I mean, as I saw pointed out, and when right before he dies, when he summons the dagger into his hand, it's not Loki's main hand. Loki's primary hand's the other one, but and one of the Thors, when he did the illusion thing, that Loki used, the offhand, because he was a mirror image of him.
Ah. Nice. See, this is why he's the Oracle. I didn't recognize that.
I didn't notice that either.
I can't do much. I can't do much, all right? But, I mean, I can remember things, and if it's comic books, I'm pretty good at it.
Man, I think... Yeah, I think definitely the candidates are the original team, right? That's really who they are. It'd be absurd for them to get rid of a new character.
Yeah.
Like one of the second half guys that they've introduced. It'd be crazy if they got rid of them.
War Machine, he's going to die.
I guess I could actually see War Machine dying. I mean, he's already been beat up so bad.
Yeah.
He's not really that relevant of a character in the movie. I mean, he's there for like character building and like building a scene and all that. But him on his own, I mean, you're never going to get a War Machine movie, right? Like, that's not going to happen.
No, but in a world without Tony Stark.
I don't know. You think he'll take over as Iron Man?
I mean, it's happened in the comics.
Well, because Falcon can't do it, right? Falcon or Bucky would be the next candidate, but they can't do it because they're going to go do their own show on Disney.
Well, did we just switch from Iron Man to Captain America?
Yes, we did. Sorry.
Okay. I wasn't done about Iron Man, but yes, Captain America. There's also a history of both Bucky and Falcon being Captain America. War Machine. Oh yeah.
Bucky.
He was Iron Man for a good couple of years. For a while, the Avengers didn't even know. Secret Wars. He was the Iron Man involved in Secret Wars. Tony wasn't there. And a lot of them were surprised when Mr. Fantastic was fixing it and there was a black man under the armor.
Huh. Yeah, I'm really curious to see. I'm like torn. I don't want him to die because I kind of want like these. I'd love for them to come back as like with little small cameos, like in Homecoming with Spider-Man and Iron Man. Like that would be cool if they had like just these little we're still here, right? Don't forget about us type thing. And I'd prefer it was that over like a flashback, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, it would super impact the universe. The only one we've had definitively die so far was who? Quicksilver?
Yeah.
That hasn't, I mean, that we have had no sign of coming back.
Except for everybody who died, at the end of Infinity War.
Well, yeah.
I mean, all of them, there wasn't much signs after that. I mean, they all dusted. But, Quicksilver is the only hero I can think of.
Yeah, and I remember Joss Whedon had to fight to keep him dead. Like, he had to fight with Marvel over that was part of the impact of the movie was that he dies and that you don't get to bring him back. And because they were like, no, that's cool, he dies. And then, like, at the end, he'll, like, come back some whatever, and he'll be like, he's like, no, he's dead. That's how it has to be so that it matters. And, I mean, he hasn't come back yet, right?
No.
Maybe we'll lose somebody in End Game and then Quicksilver will come back. I don't know. All right, let's see. If you had to pick someone that you would be willing to have die, to just like, yeah, whatever, kill them, who would be first on your list?
Wow. That's not one I ponder. Who
would be your first MCU
Thanos?
sacrifice? Yeah.
To Thanos? Because with the Infinity Gauntlet, he's essentially God.
Based off the way Infinity War went, as much as I hate to say it, and I love the series, Star-Lord.
Really? You'd rather see Star-Lord go, huh?
Just the loose cannon thing that he plays there. I love that character, but it's like I was pissed about how that went down. I mean,
he's the most deserving. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
But I mean, but you got to keep in mind with Star-Lord, when you look back at what was set up in Guardians 2, that's exactly how how he responded when Ego said, "I put the cancer in your mom," and so it's all rooted into the female attachment that he had from losing his mom. He's a scarred child that never overcame it. So I mean, you can't pick on a guy for a mental challenge.
Besides that, he was in love.
Yes.
it was Disney. It's Disney. That's not politically correct. So who would I want to kill?
Yeah, who would you kill, Gary? Come on, Oracle.
That is in the MCU.
I think for me, unfortunately, Bucky drives me nuts. I don't like Bucky. Like, I think he's not a good actor. I hate his stupid, long, greasy hair. He would be a candidate for me right away, that if we can just kill him off. Like, if I have to get rid of somebody, he's at the top of my list. Because for some reason, he drives me nuts.
Well, after defending the mentally challenged, I'm instead going to sacrifice a physically disabled member of the cast, and that would be War Machine. It's okay. He can't walk if Thanos is coming. He can't get away on his own. So, I mean, he's just dead weight.
unless he
not yet.
Well, he's got the robo legs, right?
Yeah.
That he got done. He walks around with those. What he should do is just keep the War Machine lower half on all the time. Just the lower half.
Get a nanotech upgrade on that suit.
Yeah. Just walk around and be like, ladies. Let's see. Do you think that Thanos will actually die in Endgame?
I hope not.
I kind of doubt it. I'm gonna say I kind of doubt it. Why would
they can pull back in at some point for something to try to build something to an even bigger, crescendo. Thanos, it's so bad. Thanos is helping, or he's just a bad guy again. I mean, that could work as well. He's pretty good at it, but the comics, especially after Infinity Gauntlet and the Infinity War and Infinity Crusade, Thanos was on the side of the good guys.
Yeah, didn't he help them face off against Galactus at one time?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
I
I believe so, but I'm not positive. I don't think I read that.
I know that Galactus teamed up with the heroes, and they tried to beat Thanos one time.
Maybe that's what it was.
And he beat Galactus.
Yeah, well,
yeah, maybe that's what
I think that was
because he had
Gauntlet.
the gauntlet.
Yeah, I think that's Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. So because it would be such a big deal, clearly the person that should die in this movie, none of us said Thanos, right? Right away.
Yeah,
we all don't want him to die. We'd rather have either the physically or mentally disabled person die. Not the purple scrotum sack chin guy, right?
Thanos wiped out half the galaxy, so we're basically back to caveman times, and the weak ones get left behind. It's not really our fault, it's practicality.
Well, so I think that based on that, just the fact that as the diehard fans that we are, and that we don't want to give up on Thanos, I'm really tempted to say that there might not be any heroes that die then. What is if we're so unwilling to give up Thanos, then how could we as fans be willing to give up Captain America or Iron Man, right? These are people that have been such staples
Iron Man,
22 movies, and Thanos has been in one, other than a few other, but we can't get rid of him, right?
After Civil War II, Captain Marvel messed Iron Man up, put him in a coma, basically killed him. And so that picked up the Tony AI, which is what Riri Williams as Ironheart used. So you could kill Tony off, then they could just do him as a CGI or a Jarvis voice. Then Tony can still get paid, probably $15 million for 30 minutes of line recording.
Yeah,
Tony's
right.
still there. He had Tony's
He can do that from his mansion.
Speaking of deaths, they already killed Jarvis.
Yeah, I guess Jarvis died, right? His robot thing.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of got reincarnated into Vision, though.
Yeah, but
right?
Vision's dead.
Yeah, supposedly.
So is everybody else.
I think he would be because his forehead got ripped out.
He turned gray and is dead.
Yeah.
There's no color to him.
But
that would be
once
Thanos'
again
fatality in Mortal Kombat. Grab your skull and just rip the top half off.
Yeah.
Finish him.
Yeah. There's a stone in there, I know it. But once again, Vision and Scarlet Witch get their own show.
Yes.
They're already signed up for it, so I don't think Vision's really dead, right?
No,
I really
don't
hope
think
that the
he's-
show,
unless the show just is filling in the gaps.
The gap. Yeah, the gap. that was there.
their little
You know, it's
like love,
yeah, exactly.
whatever journey that they went on together. I hope the shows aren't that. I don't want the shows to just
that would be a Marvel
constantly
show.
go back
Kristen would
and
be
fill in
all
stuff.
over.
Well, I
Watch
mean, that's
that.
what they're doing with Loki.
Yeah,
Counting there, Todd Hiddleston's going to be the narrator. Whether he's actually going to play Loki or they're going to get somebody younger, depending, we don't know yet. But I mean, that's what that is. They're coming out with the animated What If?
yeah.
Which I'm excited for because that's supposed to be in the MCU. Agent Carter is the first one.
Oh, nice.
Which I never got around to actually watching, but it's on my to-do list. Much like anime, Marcus. Much like anime.
Much like anime. Agent Carter's before anime, but he'll get to it.
Yes. I started watching all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Gotham's ending. I've still got to watch another 2 or 3 seasons of that. But probably right around there, I'll start watching anime.
I've just been trying to catch up on Gotham.
How many seasons are they deep now?
In Gotham, I want to say 5. 5 is the fifth is the last season. Isn't this the 5th season? There's only one more episode and it's over.
I'm not yeah, and Batman's going to be in that one.
Yeah, because he wasn't in the last one. I mean,
No.
spoiler alert. But you didn't even get the back count. Remember, I always said I would love for Gotham to just end with like the bat signal in the sky, and you just see Batman like stand up and like his silhouette fill the screen with the classic cape in the wind.
Yeah.
And that's like it. Maybe you get like the grappling hook blast and he goes off or something. But like that's all I want.
But
It's not really Batman. It's not about Batman.
But if it's when he actually becomes Batman, why would they have a bat signal if he hadn't shown up before?
Well, I think it's supposed to make a time jump. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes.
Not just that us as the viewers of it, we don't need
Okay.
that, right?
I'm
We
like,
know
that
it.
makes sense.
We've seen him in how many movies? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
totally. But like, just we don't need that stuff. We've already gotten all that. Like, we just want the moment to solidify that that's the end of this journey. You already know the rest of it, right?
Yeah.
It'd be a nice, clean way to do it, and they could clean up their act a little bit. It's so CW. It's not CW, but it's so CW.
Dude, don't be talking shit about the CW. I like most of them.
You
Still.
would, Gary. You
Oh
would.
yeah.
Okay, so if Thanos does die, right? Who kills him? To bring it back to End Game.
Gamora, resurrected
Yeah.
Gamora.
That'd be awesome.
Oh
you
no,
think?
Nebula.
Maybe the
The
pair
one
of
who's
them,
Yeah,
and they finally settle their differences.
That's when Nebula finally asserts that she's the equal to Gamora. She kills the abusive father that tormented her and took her apart and put her back together, much like just for fun.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Because she has to play an important part, otherwise she would not be there.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Like, there's some sort of a family, like some sort of a bigger picture underlining theme that's got to be kind of brought in there that could even like trickle over into we're left with the family of the original Avengers, right? We're left with the two sisters whose father is the Titan, and like there's a lot of these family things that are kind of circling around in here, right? Even just some destroyed families with like the Wakandans and the Guardians, and like there is that balance again.
And Infinity Gauntlet, Nebula's role was she's the one that got the glove off of Thanos, which is what set him up to lose in the end.
Yeah,
Not
like even if
not they're necessarily going to do that, but I mean that's the role she played there and in the source material.
yeah, like even if like Captain Marvel comes in, right? It gives the beat down. I would love to see either Gamora or Nebula like give the final blow. Like, even if they aren't the ones that totally beat him down into that, I'd love... I mean, it's almost like when Thanos dropped her off the cliff, right? Like, you need them to have, like, the same single tear as they give the official death blow, right? If he does die. Maybe
Drax.
they banish him to a stone. Who knows?
So what about Drax?
Drax needs to take a few swings at Thanos.
Oh, of course.
I mean, for all that he went after Ronan, because, I mean, I don't think he ever actually got to Thanos before getting changed by the Infinity Stones in Infinity War, unless I'm
No, he
mistaken.
didn't.
No.
But,
They all rushed and then just...
As much as he was after Ronan, he knew Thanos was the the dude behind him. So he was trying to get to Thanos. So he needs something.
So speaking of Ronan, they had him in
Marvel.
in Captain Marvel as more predominantly than we've seen him in anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Even,
Well,
but it still
other
wasn't
than Guardians.
But it still wasn't that much.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's going to do here. They've got to have him. They've set him up too much to not.
Yeah, what happens to him at the end of Guardians, though? Like, does he just take off? I forget. Come on, Oracle.
Don't they blast? Don't they? No, don't they fry him with the power from the stone when they all grab together?
Yeah,
and grab each other's
like
hands,
he's dead,
and they
right?
blast him.
Did
I'd
they fry him
assume
for
he's
him?
dead.
I thought he was dead.
Oh.
But I mean, I guess they never actually clarified. The thing I'm wondering though is Captain Marvel going to follow Wonder Woman, and Captain Marvel 2 will be, in 2000. And it's going to do like a time jump, like what they're doing with Wonder Woman. So you're going to see what she's doing out there with the Skrulls, and maybe more of the interactions with Ronan and the other Kree and all that.
Okay, that would solidify his.
Yeah, that would make him more relevant.
That would be why he was in Captain Marvel, but I mean, he really didn't do anything.
No. He didn't, but he. Yeah. Anyway, I just.
You want him to have more of a heyday.
Yeah, he didn't have much.
You liked Ronan.
I did.
Yeah, that's what.
So
that's
on
what
your
I'm
list of
thinking,
people
if they
that
do
can't die, Ronan. Maybe the people that come back to life out of nowhere, Ronan, is on Jay's list. I like it. Yeah, I'm excited to see how they're gonna wrap up the whole Thanos thing. Again, none of us want him to die, but at the same time, it needs to be this epic battle, and he at least needs to be totally broken down. Right,
Yeah.
to where it's like he could, where he's on his deathbed essentially, but they spare him, maybe, right? Like it needs to come to that point. There needs to be that deciding of either he lives or he dies, and it's in somebody's hand.
That would
right?
be the climactic of this is our side of the argument thing, because he's all about the eliminate it, make it happen.
Yeah.
Do it, be done.
philosophical win.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Rather than kind of like rather than the usual, just punch him harder.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if they stopped short and pulled the punch there, that would be the one that would be, hey, we've won, accept it type thing.
Could they win a fight without punching harder? I mean, that's generally that's the go-to, right? They
can punch harder, just
that's their
don't
move.
kill
Yeah. I want her to. She's got to like shake him with her little double-bladed, right? Her horrible brainwashing, warped weapon that he gave her, right? Like I want to see her. You got to use that again. Yeah.
Punch him in the face and.
Yeah. Speaking of super punching, we are finally going to get a character that I so pined for in the first movie. And actually, I'm really glad that we haven't gotten him yet because I'm a huge fan of how tastefully the MCU utilizes this character.
Yeah.
And that character is totally the Hulk. Right? We haven't actually gotten him yet, but I really love the way that the MCU uses the Hulk. He's not, other than that first movie, which we've already talked about how big of fans of that we are. Yes. I love that after that he's like the seasoning of the MCU, right? He's just so tastefully.
a dash of Hulk.
Yeah, it's like he's so tastefully sprinkled through there. Yeah. It's true, man. It's like
for a little extra measure, and bam, there you go. You saved the Thor franchise.
Their taste buds are going stale. They're going a little flat. Sprinkle some Hulk in there. It'll perk everybody up again. He's totally the seasoning, dude. And I'm totally crazy. I want more.
Hulk 2 though was the best.
Hulk 2 was the best. Oh, Ragnarok? Is
Yeah.
that Hulk 2? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was Hulk a lot in that. Yes.
Yeah, it was equal parts Hulk and Thor in that one.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see what happens between Banner and Hulk. Like, what's going on there, right?
How the trilogy of Hulk stories Kevin Feige said was woven between those movies was going to end.
Yeah. And it has to be with some sort of inner peace thing, right? Where they just
Professor
learn
Hulk.
to coexist.
Yeah, I was going to say
I was
that
wondering
is the
that too.
progression in the comics is.
Yeah, eventually he just is the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have noticed that Infinity War, kept showing Hulk in the trailers, and we really didn't see Banner. And Endgame's trailers, you've seen nothing but Banner and no Hulk.
So,
No, didn't we get one shot of Hulk in the spacesuit gear? I swear I saw that.
Well, I haven't. I've been on blackout for 4 days. Has there been a new trailer to drop? A little snippet, maybe?
I don't know.
No, it's before that.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I swear I saw a trailer.
Maybe it was a poster.
I've seen pictures. I've seen pictures of Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
I've not seen a trailer.
Yeah.
But like I said, I haven't watched anything that touches on anything in the last, 2 weeks or so.
He has to be in it, though.
I haven't,
right? Has to be.
I watched the first 2 trailers that dropped, and I stopped there.
Okay, I think I saw a couple TV spots, and maybe I just saw something on a YouTube thing or something, but I swear that I saw when they have one of the scenes where they're walking away with their microverse or the space suits or whatever those suits are that we've seen in the trailer, right? That there's one with Hulk in it, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm pretty sure I saw Hulk in one of those uniforms.
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw.
But I think it was just a still.
It might have.
I mean, I've seen still. Like I said, I've seen stills. I've not seen it in film, but like I said, I haven't seen all of them. So I've been trying to go in. Well, I mean, going in Infinity War, I really didn't know anything. I want to keep that up.
Yeah,
so close.
I'm a little bit on board with that for this one too. I mean, Gary likes to say that I hyped up Infinity War too much for myself, and I'm trying not to do that.
With the first Avengers.
Well, I'm trying not to do that with Endgame, right? But at the same time,
you can't help it.
I mean, how do I keep from doing that? This movie matters so much. It really, really matters so much. This movie, not only will it make or break Infinity War for me, in a way, it will kind of make or break the past 11 years, right? It matters more than just Infinity War.
I don't think it's going to break Infinity War, but I do agree with your comment about the last 11 years. I think that has a greater impact than just the one movie, because that's what it's going to do.
Yeah.
If it breaks there, it's going to break it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's it has to culminate to just something so epic that will impact things for the next 11 years, but also from the past 11 years, right? Mm-hmm. It has to be that relevant. I can't even imagine the level of pressure that's on
that's why there's
the
two
Russo
directors.
for making it, right? Yeah, right, totally.
They can you do this, I'll do this, we'll meet in the middle.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, no matter what.
How many fights do you think they've had in the editing room?
Yeah, right. Yeah. What were the holidays right?
That's his own Infinity War.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think no matter what happens with Endgame, I mean, Disney and Marvel deserve so much credit. I've never seen a movie series that has tied this many movies together, done it so well, made all the characters in those movies grow. They are different characters than they were in their first appearances in those movies to where they are now. Different. So polar opposite character, which is awesome.
Thor's almost identical to Thor 1.
Okay. Hey, he's got way shorter hair. Come on, and a new hammer. He's so different. Come on, Gary. His outfits changed 3 times.
Dude, that's just accessories.
All right, you're right.
Okay,
he's spot on.
To be fair, though, he is the oldest of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Captain America.
Yeah, no, he's much older than Captain America.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, by 1,000+ years. Yeah, substantially. But even if I hate Endgame, right? I would still love everything that they've done. And I just can't see hating it. It doesn't unvalidate it, but there's so much hype. There's been so much built around this. I won't be able to go into the next wave of MCU stuff, which I think is going to be different, with the same excitement. There's no way I will be able to if Endgame doesn't deliver, right? That will be looming over me the whole time.
I just realized, we're talking about what they're going to be going into and everything else, and yes, that's a huge thing that you're talking about. And I'm totally going to just crap on it now. Sorry.
Everybody's got to be doing something.
Yeah. They can't kill Thanos.
Why?
They just bought Deadpool.
Deadpool and Thanos have to fight. Yeah. Which so far I think is their only thing that they've said they're not going to mess with.
It's Deadpool.
As far as I've heard, is Deadpool. Everything else is potentially on the chopping block, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Deadpool
But, I mean,
skated by.
Deadpool and Thanos is a huge rivalry within the comics, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't kill him, just for that.
Well, there you go. That's that cameo, that sweet
Yeah.
cameo appearance anyway, right? Yeah. By Deadpool.
What if Stanley is
Thanos?
wearing a Deadpool costume and his cameo?
That'd be hilarious.
Do you
That
think...
would have to be CGI'd, though.
Yeah.
They'd have killed him just putting him in the costume.
Maybe that was the last thing he
still
did.
dress
He got
himself.
buried in the Deadpool costume.
Oh, you ever hear Ryan Reynolds talk about getting in and out of that costume?
Oh, I'm sure it's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they all are.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. That was the one when I saw Putty, who was on, I don't remember what the TV show is. Like, I want to say it was like a Pawn Stars or something. But he was going to sell his Tick outfit or
yeah.
whatever. He's getting rid of that, and he was talking about it. And they were saying,
right
like,
back.
how would you want to get rid of this thing? It's like the coolest, suit and whatever. It's iconic, and he hates it. And it was purely based on because he had to like totally grease up and do all this stuff to just squeeze into this skin tight Tick outfit, right? He hated that part of it. He was totally. It's my favorite Tick though. The new Amazon, whatever. They got a season 2. It's fine. It's fine. But that original one, phenomenal.
Yes, that was hilarious. I just remember the old animated days. Animated Tick.
Yes, the animated Tick is my favorite, hands down, totally. Man, so what do we got? When this comes out, we'll only have like Gary will have 1 day. We have 2 days. Thursday night. Thursday night, you're gonna go see it.
No,
Endgame.
Friday night.
Oh, Friday. Gary's gonna actually go see it Thursday night. He got the pre-release.
We got the midnight release.
I guess he is the Oracle.
Yeah,
That's why.
we're talking about you.
Real quick, back to the Tick. I want to set my
Nice,
English
because we
teachers-
just got off that subject, so let's go right back to it.
I had to go pee. We gotta have a story to tell. And
It wasn't
apparently
me.
I'm telling
Just to
stories
clarify,
tonight.
I was not the first one to go pee in this episode.
Yeah.
No,
I'll
you're
be
not.
the second, but I was not the first.
We win. But yes, I once set my English teacher's computer to automatically go spoon every 45 minutes.
Nice. Nice.
He was
This is
a
why
great
Gary. This is why Gary's everybody's favorite, and you should give him a hard time.
I like
At
that.
Slade Steelson. Let's see. Okay. So because this is the final movie in this epic journey and whatever.
You're gonna make me cry.
Am I?
Yeah, that's sad.
Just a single. I only accept if it's one single tier.
Like a single drop of blood. It did take them a lot of work. It took 22 movies to get me to cry, maybe.
Was one of those? Oh, you mean just MCU movies?
Yeah.
You
It
can
took
watch.
them 22
You can watch
movies to make me cry.
BVS and you might cry. Maybe that'll just make you angry. You'll turn into the Hulk.
I've
My
turned
youngest-
into a sap. I can't
cried.
say I haven't tried.
My
Yeah.
youngest cried in BVS. And he saw Superman. Superman, no! And he cried
I
for a
cried.
good
I
15
cried in
minutes.
BVS too, and
Wow.
that's because I realized I paid money to watch that.
I'm never gonna get that $9 back. That's almost as bad as the $3 or the 3 hours, but not quite.
Yeah, right. Do you think there's any chance that Disney could sneak in a new hero or a new villain
totally.
in this movie?
Totally, they
Is there
could.
any way that they could, somebody that we are completely unaware of, they just completely blindside us by
think-
introducing a new hero or a new villain in this movie and like leave us with that?
I've actually speculated that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Multiple times I've just been thinking they have to do something of that sort.
Something to just like completely blow everybody away.
And there's going to be some innocuous character that you're going to see at the very beginning of the movie as it starts, and you're not going to think nothing of it, and then they're totally going to do a flip deal back onto it, and you're going to see it, and they're going to play some major role in it.
Yeah, I've wondered that. And I think it could be a hero or a villain. Like,
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily have to be it could be either.
I didn't think villain, but yeah.
Yeah.
When I was shaking my head, I was thinking when you said new, I thought you were going like new Fox character. Could they sneak one of those in? No, they can't do that. However, they could sneak another new character that they've had the rights to.
Yeah.
I could easily see them doing that. They almost have to, at least in a tease, some mention, a cameo, something.
Do you think that there is potential to see an Adam Warlock? We've already had him teased. Like, could you see him? Like, could he come in at the end? Would that be as bad as a time jump if they had a new character show up at the end that saves the day? Right? Like somebody that has not been along in the journey this whole way. Suddenly at the end, there's Adam Warlock who brings together the team, which maybe Doctor Strange already knew about in his vision. So he's already got that, like, pre-established relationship with him. They show up, they save the day. Like, would that blow? Would you be totally shocked if that happened?
I would be extremely shocked. Adam Warlock is the one character I think I could accept. Just came out of nowhere and saves the day. I don't want them to do it. Just if they were going to do it, which again I don't think they're going to. But if they were going to do it, I mean, I wouldn't want him to come in at the very end. I wouldn't want him associated. Honestly, I don't want him associated with the Infinity War or End Game, because if you're going to do that, you should have had him there from the beginning. Yeah. He's a little bit important. I mean,
totally.
Basically, he's the anti-Thanos.
Okay, well then how about the villain side, which I think is equally as important as far as the comic books and everything go. Is there any chance in part 2 we see Lady Death?
No, I don't think so.
You think that's not an option? They've written her off as being part of the MCU? At least now, like, who knows?
Because again, if they were going to do that, she should have been part of Thanos' motivations if they were going to bring Mistress Death in. Although I did think at first when he came across Gamora at the end there that maybe that was Mistress Death, but obviously it was not. But then again, I didn't expect the Red Skull to be a ring wraith from Lord of the Rings. Guarding, instead of a ring, he's guarding, an Infinity Stone. But you never know what they're going to do. They do like to trick us. Although apparently there's spoilers online, so I guess if I really wanted to know, I could find out. But
yeah, I'm not looking at those. I heard that too.
Like I said, I watched the two trailers that have been released in theater, leading up to their movies. Those are the only things I've seen. I've not watched anything else.
Well, and can I say that is definitively the best way to watch a trailer? Like, totally, right? Like, you can watch it, like, even, like, the Super Bowl trailer, or the whatever, like, the TV spots and all that. They're all great or whatever, but I always watch them on my phone with the crappy little speaker, and it's just, like, it's not the same impact. But when you're in the theater, even though I've already watched that trailer, like, 4 times, when that, again, plays in the theater, and it's loud, and that big screen, it's just
larger
the environment.
Live.
It's in the environment it's intended for, right? Mm-hmm. It suddenly is way cooler than it was on my crappy little phone, right? So I either need to get a better phone.
I paid too much for my phone for me to be able to call it crappy.
Yeah.
I can't say it isn't.
Yeah.
But
you will neither confirm nor deny said
exactly.
accusation.
Yeah. So you think that... So basically kind of on that, we're kind of all in the same boat that we feel like at the end of End Game, it is going to do a wrap up, right? Like it
has to.
We are going to end.
No way it can't.
We are going to end pretty clean with an end result that will impact future things, but not with a cliffhanger for future things.
Oh my god, how awful would it be as if it ends on a super cliffhanger and they announce that there's a third movie for the End Game stuff?
Ender Game?
Yeah.
Ender Games.
Infinity's End.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that.
No.
There's no way.
I know. But I'm just saying, how awful would that be? You're talking about the surprises and stuff. That'd be...
Well, before you had me hooked up where you could hear me, I was telling Jeremiah, I was like, what if it turns out everything we've seen on Spider-Man Far From Home is not true because he literally stays dead and they just release a different movie?
That would be crazy. That would be insanity. I don't think that is at all the case because there's millions of dollars invested in just the marketing for that. But
that would be the best April Fool's prank.
Oh, that would be. I would be the biggest fan of it. But there's no way.
No, there's not a chance in hell. But it's kind of like how I want Captain Marvel to dust at the end of her movie because everybody expects her to come in and save the day in Infinity War. I wanted her to dust like, oh shit, what do they do now?
Yeah, what now? The page didn't go through.
Guess what? She's dead. She's flying into Earth right as she does.
Yeah.
She burns up on re-entry.
Yeah, right?
that would be actually hilarious. Just dust as she's coming in.
Yeah. God, let's see. What else do I have here? Yeah, I'm kind of getting to my major questions for the movie, really. Do you have any, what's your, super oracle insight on what's going to happen there, Gary? Do you have any, what's your theory?
What's my theory? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's necessarily likely. Well, I mean, part of it probably is. But we saw back when they were doing production where Captain America was back in his Battle from New York, Avengers and Tires. Where he's back into the costume from the first Avengers. So I'm thinking well, if they're going back there, in Age of Ultron, they teased Cap lifting the hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something I've heard about.
That is true.
And when they go back in time, what if we end up with in a moment where Steve from today and Thor from today are back to back, one wielding Stormbreaker, one wielding Mjolnir, and just plowing through everybody?
That would be amazing.
To get both Thors.
Yeah.
Both hammers going?
Both hammers,
because,
yeah.
I mean, Captain America is one of the few heroes that on multiple occasions in the comics has managed to wield Mjolnir. Yep. And the way they budged it, and Thor had that concerned look on him in Age of Ultron, something, over the course of this struggle. We don't know how far ahead, Endgame's jumping. So, maybe in 5 years. So he's gone through that final change in the desperation of situations, put him in a different mindset, which makes him worthy, but Mjolnir's destroyed. Hence the reason I made him go back to the Battle for New York. But they did have that photo of him in the costume from that movie, so there's a chance. But I also have one really ridiculous one.
I think that's a relevant one that you touched on, though. I think with Captain America and the hammer, I have seen speculations of that online without really even looking. Right, I've seen that. Come
how
up.
Awesome would that be, though? Having the round shield with the hammer. How much more Viking can you get if it's an axe? So they'd have to trade weapons.
Yeah, I'm a bigger fan of the original Mjolnir versus the Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker is a little bit gaudy for me. The thing is massive. Right? You can't just hang that on your belt. And does it have an over-the-shoulder strap?
Well, I mean, Thor
know.
probably can.
It just drag that along his belt?
No. It just sits up there. So as he's walking, it's literally the head is by his head. And then the end is just, hanging out just a little way past his butt like a tail. He turns around, cuts
it'd be super manly.
He's got the magnetic mount from Final Fantasy VII. Just
ching, right? Or Captain America, right? Yeah. The shield. Yeah.
We have the technology.
So Captain America
Magnets.
is going to say, yeah, right. It's too out there. You can't use a magnet. You have to use vibranium because apparently that can be used for anything. So really, based on everything that we've kind of touched on here, the one of the characters that's going to be impacted the most from this, at least as far as our opinions go, is Captain America.
Has to be.
Right? I mean, if he does the Avengers Assemble and he picks up the hammer, what if he does Avengers Assemble with Mjolnir? Or with the hammer? What if he does that and they assemble there?
Okay, I'm going to tie this into my other theory. What if... But right before what if, in the way that thing that puts him over the edge and able to wield Mjolnir is he somehow comes into possession of the Infinity Gauntlet. He's got the gauntlet on, and that gives him the power to wield Mjolnir. And he goes, "Avengers assemble!" and clenches his fist, and all the Avengers of Dusted rise up behind him, and then they go fight Thanos, him wielding the Infinity Gauntlet and Mjolnir.
It's gonna be like the Gohan Kamehameha with Goku like ghosted behind him, giving him his energy. Right?
I told you it was way out there, but dude, I just love that theory. I mean, it will never happen.
No,
but oh my god, it would be so cool.
You have a higher chance of Captain America picking up the hammer,
Mjolnir,
right?
yes,
Clearly,
yes.
And does the new hammer? Have they mentioned anything with the Stormbreaker? Do you have to be worthy to pick that up?
Nobody put the enchantment on it. It was only because Odin did that to Mjolnir that it did that.
Yeah, that's what.
And
So really,
MCU.
anybody, really anybody could pick up Stormbreaker. Like even if it's not Captain America picking up Mjolnir, he could use Stormbreaker while Thor uses Mjolnir if it comes back in some way, right?
Yeah,
he can still use the other one. It's not the same, huh? You want him to be worthy.
Cap. He needs to be worthy.
No, we need Thor dual wielding.
He needs both. Yeah, with one spinning and then the big
Dude,
one.
I don't know how that works. You can't twirl both. He's going to look like a cheerleader waving her pom-poms. I don't know if I'm down with that.
No, dude.
Actually, no. Comedy Thor can totally pull that off.
He could.
I retract my previous statement.
Well, because he throws Stormbreaker, and Stormbreaker does the boomerangs throw, where I don't think they ever showed the boomerang throw with Mjolnir. Mjolnir is always just a straight throw.
They do in Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. What if he throws one with each hand, and they do like a double loop around him, taking out way... Okay, I'm getting carried away again. Sorry.
Yeah, and then they hit and do a cool spark and go
I'm getting
shing.
goosebumps right now. Just talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They did. He did do the boomerang throw with Surtur.
Remember they
Which
show
made
it
no
from the
sense,
hammer
but-
angle?
Yeah, because of the Surtur thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
this beer's good.
yeah, it is.
I switched to the Lagunitas IPA. Lagunitas is just good.
Oh,
They are.
Yeah.
my bad. Tonight, I am drinking a relatively new Mountain Dew year 2019. So it's a fairly recent batch. It's settled fairly well. It's got a nice color to it. Okay, now we're back.
And it's working. It flew right through you.
Yeah.
So,
And your piss is gonna glow.
yes. Speaking of piss,
It
I'm
helps- it
going.
helps me-
It's
it helps
my
me
turn
at
now.
the night. It makes her
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, there you go.
So talk about something in Avengers End Game. I'm gonna go pee.
All right.
Keep the people entertained.
The pressure's on. Oh my god, I feel like a Russo brother.
So you got a theory?
Do I have a theory?
Yes.
I've been intentionally blanking on this. I kid you not. I seriously have been. I'm like, I want to go in this with just like we've left it exactly where they left it, and I want to be completely surprised.
Full disclosure, I was like that up until today. Then I'm like, we're doing the show. It's an end game tonight. Okay, Gary, what do you think is going to happen? Because it's probably going to be a topic of discussion. See, I can.
Do you want to know my honest theory? My
Yes.
honest theory is the whole time travel, time stone thing. I honestly think that's how they're going to fix it.
Screw you.
I
hate you.
I honestly think that's what it's going to be.
I hate you as much as Dad. Dad and me messaged, and
That
at
is
the
my-
end,
that
that's
is-
what Dad said. He was like,
that's
"Oh yeah, by the way, they're just going to go back in time."
That's my honest theory. That seriously is my honest theory.
The last thing on my message feed to Dad, because he didn't respond, was just, "I hate you." That's all I said to him. I still haven't gotten a response from you, Dad. You know it's all in fun, right?
Yeah.
In that moment, I hated you, though.
And it lingers. But anyway, no.
Yeah. Just like deviled egg farts.
Oh my gosh.
So, let's say in Endgame, is there a hero that we absolutely do not want to die? Like, is there one you just don't want to get rid of, that they're just like, they're not...
Hero that I absolutely do not want to die.
I mean, obviously, let's put him on the chopping
Spider-Man?
block, maybe.
I was just going to say, Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, he's not gonna, right?
Well,
who
well,
are the
well.
potentials? Who are the potentials to die?
So of the two that I really
knows?
don't want to see die, Gamora and Spider-Man. They're already dead.
Yeah. I mean, we have Captain America's on the chopping block, right? Clearly, contractually, he's losing interest. Like, there's a lot of reasons why he's on the chopping block.
And I'm okay with that.
You're okay if
I'm okay with it. He's
paid his dues.
Yeah, he's paid his dues. He's paid his dues. He's been the center of attention. He's more than fulfilled his role.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he has gone from naive Boy Scout to such a jaded, like, rebel leader.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
he belongs in the Avengers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He can hang with them.
Yep.
Yes, totally. I think clearly Iron Man is on the chopping block, right? Again, he's potentially done, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Thor's safe. I'm pretty sure Thor's safe.
He's kind of in that boat too, though, where it's like,
well, because I mean, he's already talked about him and Waititi having discussions about possibly doing a number 4. Now he's king of the Asgard. There's different ways they can go with it.
After Ragnarok, they've shown what they can do with Thor.
He's interested
I want to see
again.
more of that.
Yeah, like I think as far as Thor is concerned, if I compare it with Captain America, I feel like Thor is kind of in his, like, Civil War phase, right? Like, he hasn't completed his journey, right? Like, he could use another movie or two to come full circle, like Captain America fighting
Ant-Man needs that.
Yeah, and Ant-Man, I think, he needs a real push.
He needs the validation.
Yeah.
We have not had even in his own movies, we haven't had the validation for him yet.
Well, you notice they follow Avengers movies with Ant-Man just to try to wash the palette after Ultron and Infinity War.
I did notice that. Yes.
They're intentionally doing what they're doing with Ant-Man. That's the whole purpose of Ant-Man, is to just
So he's a palette cleanser?
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what he is.
And just go in there and just get every little nook and cranny.
Yeah. He shrinks down, scrub it clean, give you something fresh to snack on, and then we'll get serious in the next go-around.
I haven't actually read the theory, but apparently there's a theory that a lot of people are talking about involving Ant-Man and Thanos' butt.
I did hear about that.
I heard about
it, but I heard about it too.
I think I can take 2 + 2 and get 4.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening in a Disney movie. No. It would surprise me. I would
surprise you. What about Thanos?
I would call it a bold.
They have to change his name from Ant-Man to something else after that. You're no longer Ant-Man. You're like Enema Man.
Mr. Lemmy-Winks, okay.
Yeah.
No, he's Antus instead of Anus, and then there's Thanos instead of...
Yeah.
We gotta bring the anus in. Thanos, there we go. Now I'm saying it right.
Do you think, with it being Hulk's the 3rd movie and everything, and he's going to be in it now, which, speaking of that, is that why he's not in the first one? Because he was only signed on for a 3-movie thing, and they had to save him for Endgame? Like, how much of that was... No? I thought it was like a 3-movie deal thing that they had with him, that they could
Universal?
use him. Yeah. Wasn't that part of something?
No, because Bruce Banner's still Hulk. Whether he actually... And he was Hulk. He turned into Hulk and got that butt kicked.
That's true. It's very true. In the very beginning, he did.
I'm going to go with doubtful.
Doubtful that... Okay. So, I like that. I like when the Oracle's decision is doubtful. You might as well be a magic 8-ball.
I was going to say.
Dude, I was waiting for the next round. I was going to go ask again later.
Yeah, ask me again later.
I was going to say, there's 20 outcomes, so...
Yeah. So, like, do you think this could be Hulk's last movie then? Like, is he someone on the chopping block? I haven't heard anything about, like, a streaming show or anything. I've not heard anything after this about him.
If we have Professor Hulk, then Hulk can just be CGI. They don't need Ruffalo anymore.
No way. They still need him for, like motion capture and other stuff.
Other people can do it. No, I'm just that way, because Ruffalo, I think, is kind of ready to move on to other stuff. But if they make him Professor Hulk, where it's now intelligent Hulk, they could do it.
He'd be the one I think I would miss the most. To be honest with you, I think he has done such a good job of establishing Banner as a relevant character and Hulk as a relevant character.
duality between
and
the two.
also as two completely separate relevant characters, right? Like they're not the same they're not the same character at all, but at the same time you can like tell the influence of the actor in both characters. Like I think he has done an outstanding job playing the Hulk and Banner both. Like I'm totally just in love with the way that they've done the Hulk. I know it's not much of a comparison, but I think as far as the Hulks that we've gotten live action so far, hands down,
Bixby,
the best.
Ferrigno.
Yeah, right. Hey, I watched the crap out of that as a kid, so yeah.
Dude, I like the one with Daredevil, and that was so not Daredevil. Did you see the one with Thor, the movie? Oh my god, it was horrible.
Yes, I did. That was awful.
But it's what we had.
Yeah, and I loved it at the time. I totally did. Same with the crappy Spider-Man show. I remember that live-action one that I would get like after Hawaii 5-0.
I completely forgot about that until you guys brought it up. What was it? A month or two ago or 3 months ago? Whatever it was. Like, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, and that was a garbage fest, too.
You guys are older fellows. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, we're super old, dude.
Yeah, you see the gray?
You don't see the gray?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of here.
I'm not horrendously far behind.
Gary can feel your pain.
Yeah.
And I see a little gray in there too, buddy.
Yeah. I'm seasoned. Wizened, if you will.
Right? Yeah.
It's
just
the
like
Hudson
the
Hornet.
Yeah. I have been marinated in life now. I'm ready to be cooked.
Green Hornet.
I think no matter who dies in Endgame, I agree that I sort of feel like somebody has to die to really make this relevant and matter.
I don't know.
He's checking the magic 8-ball.
Oh.
Ask again later.
It is certain. It said it is certain. So his 8-ball app. I just think somebody does. Somebody has to die. Mm-hmm. I think they have to be a relevant character. It can't just be it can't be Gamora, who I think would be more relevant than what's her sister's name? Help me. Nebula. I don't think Nebula can be the one to die if she's the impactful death, right? Because we just gotten little tastes of her here and there. Mm-hmm. We haven't had it. We're just now finally being able to relate with what she's gone through, right? Suddenly ripped that away.
Guardians 2 started, but Guardians 1 didn't really develop her at all.
No.
And there was no attachment, and everything else, even though she did better in 2, I mean, Yondu, even Swayze. No.
Russell.
Thank you. Russell. I'm like, crap, that's not
Big Trouble in Little China.
But they did, such a phenomenal job. The other cast did that she's overshadowed. You just can't compete with that. But there's not the investment in Nebula. I don't think, at least.
It almost has to be a character that has made that full circle journey, right?
Happy Hogan.
Who?
Happy Hogan.
You think that's who goes because he's finally come? No, they show him in Far From Home, so he lives.
Oh, yeah, that's
right. He's in the trailer. Come on. Nice try.
Fooled again.
Throw somebody else under the bus. I think that makes you too...
Ned. I was going to call him Gonky because that's his name in the comic books. Ned, the kid from the bus, Peter Parker's friend. He gets thrown under the bus.
He died. No, he's in the trailer.
He fell out. He fell out.
Literally under the bus.
Stands for a little hard. He goes flying out the
He's
side.
Just under there going, Pete. Pete.
Okay, they backed up. Made sure he's okay.
Yeah. And Stan did it. That's the worst part, is that Stan drove over him.
Mad. You can't be mad.
Yeah, right?
No.
Yeah. It's an honor, I guess.
Killed off by a legend.
Yeah. Do you feel like Iron Man has made the full circle journey enough to be the one that dies? Because I feel like he's Iron Man is the one I loved from the beginning, and I've grown to hate. I don't like Tony. I think he is such a self-centered, selfish, does not care about the team in the way that he should, and
He's been in a
He's
holding
become the
pattern.
cancer of the team, kind of.
He has been in a holding pattern, but
I think that's our
I
intern.
still
Hold on.
think
He hasn't
has more-
completed his journey.
I think he still has more to give.
Yeah, I don't feel his story's complete because he's been kind of locked in the stasis. But like IGN had a nice article where it tied in how everything that's
Wow,
happened
dude,
to Tony.
8:30 came soon, man.
Go jump over there.
I said it
There's
was
your
9.
mic and your headset.
I didn't think it'd be 10. It was 10. I
don't know. Let's
Dude.
see.
Don't pay him this week.
Can you hear Gary there?
Oh, geez,
Jack's
it's
here.
certain again.
Yeah, I
Certain
saw that.
again.
Yeah, don't pay
so-
Jack this week.
Don't pay him. I pay him in.
how come
Yeah.
Well wishes, positive
I'm not worried.
vibes.
Here, this way everyone can see me.
Because
Yeah, there you go. It doesn't matter. We don't care about Jack.
Yeah.
But he is
The
here.
other way. This
Oh
week.
my God.
So where did we come to with the Iron Man thing when I had to go let Jack ruined that again, by the way. That's what he does. Just sometimes to ruin stuff.
They can't kill Iron Man off right away. I can see him being put to rest for a while, but he still has more to give.
What if
So
he does
what
like
if-
a mentor thing?
Yeah. I can see something
What?
like
But
that.
what if Iron Man? Because I agree that Iron Man has been on this horrible journey of just destroying himself and everybody around him. He's the cancer of the team. He just is, and he's just really this plague on the Avengers
cut him out.
this whole time, right? So I could almost see him being the guy that makes the big sacrifice in the end to now make amends for all of these bad decisions that
Okay.
he's made.
So
Which would
him making the big sacrifice is what this is all going around.
What do you mean?
So Iron Man, when he flies up and pushes the freaking thing back in and goes to the other realm,
Exactly.
That's
and
where
he
Avengers
gets the PTSD from it and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
other stuff. That is the
Full
beginning
circle.
of all of this.
yes, it's totally true.
So then he won't sacrifice.
You think he won't do it? But maybe
No,
that'll
I
be
think
his
he will.
moment. Is that he'll have to
No,
now?
I think he will.
He'll come to
I
that
just-
moment again,
Yeah.
and he'll have to choose. Like, can I face my biggest fear and do it again?
Maybe.
Like, right? I wouldn't be shocked if that's what happened.
That
and
that
he ended
would
up
finish
sacrificing
Oh, I don't know.
himself.
be a
Let's see
finish
what
of
the
his
match
arc
game ball
story.
says.
Yeah, right. That would bring his story
Don't
full
count
circle
on it.
Don't count on what? Him sacrificing himself?
Yeah.
on him being the one to die.
He's not the one to lay down on the wire.
Yeah.
Let the other man crawl over him.
Well, let's ask Jack some of the questions that we had.
Nice.
Let's get his opinion because it matters,
It does.
and then that will give us more motivation to keep talking about Endgame. I'm positive, and I don't really care how long the episode is. So the movies went for 11 years. So deal with an hour and a half, people.
Or Jack just got here maybe too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I can deal with the last, however long.
So first one that I had for everybody was, do you feel like anybody will actually die?
Yes.
And you do.
So many people.
Oh, you think multiple people? Because we were on the fence as far as like who's actually going to die.
I think.
Like who can they kill? Obviously, you came in on that's a nice segue actually, because you came in on that. Might as well get that ball rolling,
I
keep
think
it rolling.
That, I think Captain America's gonna die. Like, it's just the way they went from like Age of Ultron into Infinity War. Like Captain America looks like older and grizzled. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, bring him in the screen. He matters.
There we go.
Captain America looks a lot older and is this mic on?
Yes,
I think it's on.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He looks older and grizzled and like chiseled, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like all the new Avengers looked very young and peppy. And I think that was part of it. It was like so they could kill it off and it could like be more impactful because it was less expected. But at the same time, I think it's the Avengers do like the original ones do look a lot older.
So
And,
what if Captain America in the end?
To ease us into it.
It comes to that moment where you think Captain America is going to do the ultimate Boy Scout sacrifice, but then Tony steps in and he doesn't.
What would the sacrifice be though?
Themselves. I think they have to sacrifice themselves. Like maybe it'll have something to do with the Soul Stone, and it's like a soul for a soul type thing, or like a whatever,
And
right?
their
Where it's like
souls are worth
you
more.
have to do the ultimate sacrifice of yourself and your own existence.
Yeah, your soul is 3750.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'll take it.
Is that what happens when you die? Like You've got like both sides of the coin on either end, and it's like one they bid for your soul.
Sold to the gentleman in the tall and red cloak.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So we
With
played
the
Soul Reaver.
horns.
Was there any souls that were worth more than others?
yes, they
There
were.
you go.
The ones that shined brighter,
I know.
were worth more. Yes.
The tighter the chaps, the tighter the. I don't know. Yeah.
Tighter
I'm
than
gonna say
chaps.
okay.
Yeah.
So if
Really?
we
That's where I started. Couldn't go.
Wow, this gone off real fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack's here.
Jack
That's
gets
what
here,
happens.
and Jack's
Yeah.
here. We're just all the way over in the
Yeah.
woods now.
It's done.
Um,
It's done, guys.
So if we definitively, you have to pick one. We'll make it. We were really beating around a bush there for a long time. I'm gonna say Iron Man. I think Iron Man has to be the one. I think something's got to come full circle. He has to make that
I don't think
sacrifice
it
to
can
redeem
just be
himself.
one. I think it's gonna be Iron Man and Captain America. They're gonna sacrifice. It's gonna be like 2 people have to sacrifice, and they're both gonna step up and be like, hold hands. Maybe
Fusion.
Yeah.
You're still my best friend. I still like Bucky better.
Yeah, they'll
You're
have
all
that
right.
moment. They'll hug. Maybe
Yeah.
a quick little kiss, like a manly one.
Just like a passionate.
Yeah.
That's a
grab.
double cheek.
Yeah. Like an arm, shoulder.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Totally the
full
Italian.
tongue on- That's manly. That's brave, dude. Only
Yeah.
bros do that.
Yeah.
They do that. You know.
Full
then-
embrace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Passionate. Manly.
Mustache to mustache.
Yeah.
I need to,
But actually, I think
no.
they're both gonna die. I just feel like it's gonna be like a double sacrifice thing, because then I could bring their arc together of like they're finally willing to put everything past them, like each other, to save.
And then they play
I
Elton
think-
John's Circle of Life.
So I think the only way they can get away with it if they both die is one of them's have to die early.
Really?
Oh, like so maybe Cap sacrifices himself early, which then motivates Tony to realize his full journey, and his journey has to end.
It can't be a simultaneous.
Which would explain why we see Captain America in his costume from the first Avengers talking to Tony. And I believe it was Tony. Because our Steve is
in the trailer.
dead.
There is the full-on
Yeah.
handshake. Like they do meet, they shake hands.
Okay, take it with a grain of salt, but one of the Russos said that's not the scene in the movie.
I mean,
Huh.
what they could be doing with the trailers is just like how they did with the Thanos thing, where it's like it only showed them like 2 of the Infinity Stones. They could just be showing fake scenes to throw us off.
Oh, totally. I
Oh, yeah,
guarantee
they
that
are.
scenes we've
They
seen
could
in the
start
trailers.
with Iron Man running out of oxygen and dying.
Yeah, right. Like
Guess
that's the
what?
first scene in the movie.
Yeah.
The Avengers aren't even in it. It's all a spam.
Yeah.
Alpha Flight
Yeah,
from
it could
Canada's going to
totally
come
be
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
they-
Oh my god.
No.
With Squirrel Girl to assist. These
I
people-
don't know what's going to show up.
I
So,
we already covered this.
Yeah.
they do need to for sure address the like the fracturing of the Avengers team. Like how we said, there needs
Yes.
to be that moment of Avengers
Yes.
Assemble where because that was one of my biggest complaints about Infinity War. For all of those Avengers movies were such Avengers 1 and 2 are such turning points for the Avengers team, right? Like they after those movies, they are a totally different team, which I
Yes.
think makes those Avengers movies so relevant in the whole timeline of the MCU, right? Like those make those. Not only is it the coming together of the teams, which is what we've been watching all these individual movies for that great pinnacle moment,
Yes.
but at the same time, all those characters individually have now changed and grown because of what that movie impacted and forced them to do, right? So we're really missing that moment so far
But I think-
in Infinity War, and Endgame has to deliver that moment.
I think that's the point of Infinity War, is that by the end of 2, their team became a lot more fractured, especially with Civil War. That like now the Avengers is more of like a fractured group, and they realize that because Thanos is so powerful, they have to come together, and that's what they do in the next one.
Yeah, like
They
they have
must
to
be-
settle their differences, right?
Yeah, well, that's what we figured was going to happen with Infinity War, and it didn't.
Yeah, I kept waiting for that moment in Infinity War, and that never happened.
Well, I think that's because Infinity War is
We got teased, like when Tony picks up the phone and he's like, but he can't even bring himself to make the call.
Yeah.
Right?
He stares at it for 5.5 minutes. You can't press the button.
Yeah, and then Bruce Banner has to
yeah.
make the call.
Yeah, Banner has to be the guy that steps in.
Bruce Banner's gonna Hulk out, guys.
Yes, right? That was something we
He
touched
better.
on, too. He needs to Hulk out. I want to see him smash. He needs to Hulk smash.
Yeah.
It's like I was saying earlier, the MCU has been missing some seasoning. So let's spice it up a little bit and throw some more Hulk in there.
Yeah.
Right? It's about time. What else did we touch on? Jack, do you think Thanos will die? Are they going to actually kill him?
I don't know. It's really hard to say. What does the die say?
Right? Yeah.
Not so good. I mean,
Which is what our
they can
which
use
what
Yeah,
we
it's
said.
kind of what we came to.
I could almost see them using him as like, what if he does in the next Avengers? He's like the neutral force that has to help them. Like how he helped them in Infinity.
War and Crusade.
Was that what it was? Where Adam
Infinity-
Warlock has the evil second half.
Yeah, Infinity
And that
War
was-
and Crusade.
Yeah, that was interesting because it's like as he kind of comes around like a little bit, and you still have like that like, do we trust Thanos? But like he's like, I hate you guys, but I'm gonna work with you.
Yeah,
And, like,
with the common enemy.
Yeah.
Right?
Which
Yeah.
could be really interesting to then go back and be like, whoa, look at how Thanos has changed. Look at how everything has changed. Because I think he's so usable. They're like,
Oh,
they
yeah,
threw
it'd be
away
a
that
shame to just
potential.
get rid of him. Yeah.
I mean, they could even make
Yeah.
Thanos movies.
Yeah.
Oh, completely good.
He just farming. Some
Well,
people come invaded planets.
Well, especially if they're doing their streaming series, is what they're
Oh.
doing now with all these live action people. I
Yep.
mean, we've already talked about they could use Hulk if he becomes Professor Hulk as just CGI in future movies. What if there's a Thanos show where it's just CGI?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't even need the actor there,
It's gonna
basically.
suck if they do that.
Right? Yeah, no, like, it could take a
Yeah,
weird
but-
turn. It totally could. But, I mean, if we were willing to think that for Hulk, why is suddenly Thanos absurd?
Wait, so they're making a whole show?
No. This
No,
was
no,
us
we're
theorizing what they
hypothesizing.
could do. That was
I
Gary, that was
was
the
gonna say- I
Oracle
was gonna
Gary's
say-
idea.
If they go that route, it's totally going to be Colossus in Deadpool 2.
Very
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I
I'm
thought we were
sorry.
going all Scooby Doo. He's gonna pull off his mask and just Colossus.
Yeah, yeah.
Time.
No. I'm just saying.
That's how they connect.
The,
I got you. If it wasn't for you,
Colossus
damn
was done
heroes and your damn raccoon.
I say Colossus was done so
Rabbit,
well
it's a
in
rabbit.
Deadpool 1.
Rabbit, yes.
In Deadpool 2, at least when you see him in the mansion, not necessarily when he's fighting, but in the mansion scenes, the CGI was not finished for him.
Yeah.
It was so
He's
bad.
just like T-posing, sliding around everywhere.
Oh no, it's animated, but it's just
Yeah.
it doesn't have that finish polish.
Well, yeah, it's not like
Well,
the
I should say he's
details that you-
over polished.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Yeah,
metal all the
he's
time
like-
apparently, so he's got to do something. So he polishes it.
Right?
Oh man, I scuffed it.
He's got nothing better to do than sit at home and rub it out, huh?
That's a
He's
punishment
too
for
pure
kids.
that.
All right, you got to go clean the Colossus.
doesn't sin. Oh.
No,
Oh,
dude,
why the kids?
he's
No.
polishing it out.
No, the arms, dude. Get your mind out of the gutter, Jack.
Yeah.
You know,
his
in
little
the
baby
hair.
arm. Right, moving on. Oh god,
So,
I feel happy about that.
so we're all in the boat of no, they don't kill Thanos.
Yep.
No,
I don't think they can either.
no, they can. Okay, don't be silly.
That's
but-
okay. Yeah, right. Sorry, ludicrous. So
Wrong movie.
yeah,
Disney heard that and they're like, reshoot the whole thing.
That's it.
right.
No,
Yeah.
They doubted our
This
power.
episode is going to come out, and we will get a new release date for
Yeah.
Endgame
Robert Downey Jr.
immediately
says,
after.
Hey, MCU, can we delay the Avengers End Game? Is it
Yeah.
for the trailers to drop early? Or no,
I've
the movie
decided
comes
to
out?
accept the measly $80 million for the next movie. Don't kill my character. Do some reshoots.
If only
But he
we
doesn't
had-
You're
have
right.
a mus-
82
but he doesn't
million
have
was
a
absurd.
mustache.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a mustache, and they have to digitally build one on his face. It's Justice League all over
That's
again.
where the $2 million comes in.
Yeah, right?
That's horrible.
Would've
It'll
been
be
80
nanotech, dude.
It would have been
How
80
hilarious would that be
Nanotech
if
stash.
nanotech came up and made a stash?
This is my power.
Maybe that's where his new suit will hide. It'll just be in this nanotech stash.
Man suit?
Facial
That'll
hair.
replace-
Yeah,
that'll
the new
replace-
Iron Man
it's like-
suit.
That'll replace
Yeah.
the MCU's standard costume of glasses and a hat that everybody seems to wear. Now those have nanotech facial hair and nose prosthetics and
Glasses?
Oh, yeah. And then
No, glass.
Tony's going to totally do the, like, shirt open and give everybody a mustache. And they'll all put it on. Suddenly everybody's... That's where those suits came in the trailer, dude.
Oh,
They're the
God.
nanotech mustache suits. I'm telling you, Disney's stealing my shiz,
so how would
man.
they activate it? The I Dream of Genie?
Yeah.
Nose wiggle thing.
Yeah, something. For
I
sure.
can't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little one of these, a little twist
Oh, yeah.
on the side. Yeah, no, dude, don't double twist. That's still in development.
Oh,
You'll freak out the
Oh,
suit,
that's what they
dude.
do at the
So-
end.
so-
of
so-
the
so
movie.
if you-
Yeah,
That's
they all
gonna
do
be.
that.
That's not until 2.0.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say.
It's in beta. It's in the
They
public
do it
test realm.
anyways.
You sign
Yeah.
our disclosure
Yeah, the
agreement, you can
ponytail.
try it.
Ponytails and mustaches. Nanotech. It's cool, guys. Just trust me.
It's my man bun.
Yeah.
Whole planet.
And then he's cool, right? Yeah. You gotta hit the man bun and then you're cool.
Professor X shows up. Bald head, all of a sudden, the nanotech hair shows up, and I'm not just a professor; I'm also a client.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, we've got a bit of far afield at this point.
Oh, I think I need another beer.
Let's see, what else did I ask you guys? Oh, what do you think, Jack, as far as the possibility of them introducing either a completely random new hero or villain?
I hope they don't. I really hope it's like an after. Well, if they introduce a new villain, I hope they do it in the guise of it's a hero and it's going to help you out. And then it's like alluded to at the end that it's a villain. That'd be fun. But a new hero, there's no time for
What?
that.
What if it's Nova, like the core Nova from the comics, having destroyed Xandar? Now he's the last one, so he's got all the power. Well, I mean, that'd be kind of redundant with Captain Marvel, but it would make sense.
Maybe they can cross their beams, right?
Which one's who's
Like Ghostbusters or like Iron Man 2?
Novacor? That sounds familiar.
Both.
Or like when you do swords with... No, never mind.
Yeah.
But no, who's what's Novacor? Wasn't that the group that Captain Marvel was part of?
But there is just a Nova.
Novacor is what the
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah, too.
The
Remember,
police
they take all their little ships, right, and make the
Golden
wall.
People.
But there
No,
are different,
that's
but there
not
are
the Nova
different ranks, and the higher up you get, once you get to the certain rank, then you got near invulnerability. You can fly on your own. You've got blast, strength, things like that. But during
Basically
I
Captain
wanna
Marvel.
I want to say Infinity, just plain Infinity. Xandar got destroyed, so all the power became housed in just this one Nova. Richard Rider, who was a Nova from Earth, oddly enough, but they keep talking about
So
maybe
what
introducing
you're
him.
saying is he was basically the Green Lantern of the Marvel universe.
Essentially,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Yeah. But then, well, if anything, they'd have to introduce Adam Warlock. Because
That's
he's
kind of where I was
so-
at with it, too. Would you be satisfied with that introduction, though?
If they do, I mean, they could do it good. I get. Well,
Okay, so what if Adam Warlock shows up at like a third of the way through the movie, and then you get the rest of the movie with him and Doctor Strange on some astral planed jargony stuff to like tie that in too?
and then Adam Warlock gains the power of the rest of them, and then he's the villain of the next movie.
Oh yeah, there you go.
mean,
And then
you
you
could
get
do
the
that.
Dark Stones, like Dragon Balls, right?
I always come back to the fact that James Gunn's gone on record saying that Adam Warlock's not showing up until Guardians 3.
Yeah, but I also think anything James Gunn has said, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
They're still using his script, so I'm assuming that he's handling the introduction of Warlock into the universe. Although, I mean, you never know.
Well, he's
Yeah.
back.
Well, he's already been introduced, hasn't he?
Yeah,
we saw
they-
the cocoon in Guardians 2.
No, well, isn't James Gunn back in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he
they're
is.
using his script. He's directing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're back basically on track, except for obviously it's not coming out next year now.
yeah. He's gonna do Suicide Squad first.
Yep.
Yep. Priorities, apparently. I would be, if I was him, I'd be so tempted to just say, nope. Make it work,
right.
guys. Yeah.
Well,
Nope.
the new
You already
Guardians
get
come out in
you were going to use my
2021.
script without me, so screw you, basically, right?
It's
Like, I
certain.
could have
It
seen
says
him
it's
doing
coming out
that.
in 2021. The
There you
guys
go.
have said.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the rumor going around is they never looked for another director, and James Gunn knew that they were just trying to wait for the storm to die down, and then they were going to bring him back because they never even interviewed anybody to replace him.
That's valid.
No, well, and I had heard that, I want to say it was something like $10 million that Disney had to pay him to break the contract. Is that right? Something like that?
There's something
Millions.
like that.
Some absurd amount of millions. Any more than 1 million is an absurd amount of millions to me.
Yes.
Right? So
honestly, 1 million is a bit of an absurd
it's an
amount.
absurd amount, but as far as millions goes, it's
Yes,
the bare
it's-
minimum I will accept. So
Okay.
anything after that seems absurd.
Yeah.
But so does he now re-sign a contract to do the movie and also gets paid that money? So did he just get paid at like $10 million to take a vacation?
No, I don't think so.
Like, do you
Although
think
you
they
never
signed
know.
him back on before that deadline? Or, like, there's got to be some sort of contractual deadline thing that happened there,
That
right?
was a signing bonus for your new contract.
Yeah, something, right? Yeah. I had heard it was several millions that they had to pay him to break that contract. So, I mean, I don't know.
Here,
That's crazy.
take this money, go apologize, sit on a beach somewhere, sipping Mai Tais.
Yeah,
and then-
don't tweet for a while.
Yeah, and then come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slowly making a Guardians
Keep
movie
your
everyone will
mouth
forget.
shut.
And then come back and apologize, and then come back.
Yeah.
Maybe I had to go write a script for Guardians 4.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
if
yeah,
they
yeah.
approved that, then okay.
Makes sense.
So let's see. New hero, new villain. Did we already talk about how stoked you are to see Hulk? Did I ask you that
No,
yet?
we didn't.
Because it's got to be in it,
How stoked
right?
am I? Well,
Because we got such a tease.
Well, no, yeah. Well, they said you're not in the movie, Mark Ruffalo, but then he was in the trailer, so it's like he's obviously in the movie. I'm excited to see him. I mean, he was kind of like the comic relief in the last one, which is like he's playing more into what he was in.
And the last one?
In Thor, or in Infinity War.
Just with
Infinity-
the,
I
I
just
guess
with the,
sort of in the beginning. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a Dr. Jekyll,
But he
Mr.
wasn't
Hyde
like- yeah.
moments in there,
He
right?
wasn't like the first two Avengers, like this power I have is evil. He's more of like a.
come on,
I
big
like-
guy.
yeah.
He wasn't or he was more like comical, like he wasn't a Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
No, which I totally is still comedy
Yeah.
relief, right? Like,
Yeah.
he has really transitioned into that role
Yeah.
because all the scenes that were in, even in Infinity War, were totally those internal goofball moments
Yeah.
But he's
where
not,
like half his face would come out and go back.
Well,
Like
yeah.
it was
but
cornbally
he's,
and goofy.
even though
What do you
yeah,
mean, no?
he's
Yeah.
still not straight Gimli cheesy though.
Yeah.
No,
I guess am I excited to see him? I'm like as excited to see him as I am. Like,
They're not dwarf
Thor.
tossing, okay?
really, like ones that you've already seen from the first one.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I'm just sort of like as excited to see. I mean, I know in the end he's gonna Hulk out. He's probably gonna. That's gonna be fun, but it's not like I'm not really seeing the movie for like anyone except like basically just to see what Thanos does or what happens to Thanos.
Yeah.
I
So
guess- I guess
these
what
are
I'm saying
basically
was-
the Thanos solo movies for you. Then it's kind of what you're saying. It's like you. I mean, in a way, it's like Thanos is what is the central point of these movies.
Well, it's like I'm not excited to see Captain America because I know Captain America is going to be in it. I'm excited to see it because usually something's going to happen to him. It's
Yeah.
interesting like not just because of him, but like what happens to him and around him, and like how it affects the relationships he has with like everyone else. Because I think that's sort of the strength of these movies is that they don't just rely on like the one character; they rely on like everyone, especially
Yeah.
Avengers.
Oh, totally.
So
Yeah.
it's like I'm very excited for Thanos, but I'm also excited to see how Thanos impacts the Avengers and what the Avengers becomes, and, like everything around it.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
again I think brings relevance to the point that this movie needs to matter. Like it needs to matter.
They need to do a good job.
It needs to matter for everything we've seen, and it needs to matter for everything we will see. Like it needs to
Yeah.
be relevant on both ends
This
of that
has
spectrum.
to be the biggest movie.
It's
yet.
interesting to me that you see Thanos as more of this main character in it all, because I keep looking at it, and even in Infinity War especially, I keep looking at Thanos as the end credit character. Like he's still kind of that character in the movie, right? Like he is a key part of these crucial moments, but they're all hitting you so fast, and everything is just happening so quick in it that there really isn't a moment to like sit and
you
stew in
think
that.
And
movie.
digest it.
Yeah, it's
do-
like it
okay,
never
so-
happens.
so
It's-
And then you get a
do think
cramp
that's-
because you don't wait long enough, and
yeah.
I was
your brain
do you
starts to hurt.
Think it's
Sorry.
tied to the fact that he moves around the way he moves around?
Just because he can jump
Because
through.
he just appears.
Well, also,
I-
I think
yes, I do.
He has
I-
so much military power. That
Well,
it's
it,
like
but it's
everything
like this
works.
massive cast. You're trying to give everybody their moment in the limelight, and I do think the glue for that is Thanos, because he is jumping around
Yeah.
and causing them to have their moments, but in a way that's what made Infinity War feel so much like these strung together end credit scenes for me, where it was like, I want to care more about what's happening, but I'm not getting the full story. Like, I'm never having a chance to really care until suddenly he's jumping that portal and going to the next one, right? It's like, and now I'm forgetting about the last thing he did because he's constantly doing that through the whole movie. Like, I want that to calm down in Endgame and even draw back on those things that he's already done and make those more relevant now in Endgame. It needs to slow down.
That was my only real complaint in Infinity War, was just him being around.
Yeah.
But it totally makes sense. He's got the Infinity Stones.
Did you notice?
And he's chasing them, right? Through
Yeah.
the whole thing. He's chasing what's left of them, which means he's going to jump around.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I didn't really care for.
Yeah. That was one of my major gripes, for sure, was that, which is what I meant by
why did you wait
it.
till now to say that?
But that's what I meant by it. By it felt like this strung together end credit scene, was because that's what he was in all the end credit scenes, were those little moments, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Infinity War is a bunch of those little moments with kind of lacking that substance to it. Like, we're lacking the impact of why all those things matter. And I want that from Endgame. And I want it to keep mattering.
I
Like,
think
it
the
needs to matter
strongest-
after the movie.
The strongest it matters one is the space team. The Stark and Spider-Man.
Nebula? Oh,
Oh, just that whole the Guardians and Stark and and
That
Doctor
is-
Strange, that section of the team.
That is the section of the team that was the one that was the consistent through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Everything else was just jumped to here, from there to there to there.
Yeah, well, and Thanos didn't even show up till the very end of the movie for the guys that were still on Earth, right?
Yeah.
Like, they weren't even really aware that that's what was going on. They'd been warned, but they hadn't actually met him. And that only happens for what, like, I mean, in their time, a couple minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And then he's gone, right?
Yeah,
So,
when it was the prequel Star Wars portion.
the prequel Star Wars version? What do you mean?
You know, like when they engaged the
Dome?
dome.
Oh, the dome over Wakanda,
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, yep, this is the ILM portion.
yeah.
This was written by Industrial Light and Magic.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, that's such a obscure thing. Well, I guess it's not really obscure.
What?
It is Star Wars, the weird dome things. Are you talking about the ones from, like...
From
Phantom Menace?
episodes
Gungan
1, 2, and
City.
3?
Yeah.
the Gungans.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gungans fighting with the
Jar
domes
Jar.
and
Yeah.
You cannot compare.
well, I'm just saying the way it was told and the way it was animated, they had the big freaking ships land and then the troops come out.
Don't say it.
They came out the same way, and then they had the total those rotating.
Well, and Jar
blade
Jar
things.
was supposed to kind of be like a Jamaican, right?
There you go.
And
Yeah.
Wakandans, I mean, I'm not going to make the relation, but you can do it out there. You
Dude,
get it.
Jar Jar might be able to take the Black Panther. You don't know.
Yes, I think you're right.
Misa, eat the purple flower?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm dying. Okay.
Misa, give it
But
to
no, seriously,
Killmonger.
that was that whole section, that whole battle was all I could think about was Phantom
I'm
Menace.
so sorry. You must live in a life of
He watches Phantom Menace and BVS every single night.
Oh,
Those
totally.
are the two he watches. Yeah.
Those are on in background. That's why I go to sleep too.
Yeah.
I sleep quickly. Don't
He
mind.
bought the double disc set. Believe it or not, you can buy the double disc set.
The
Walmart
metal.
special, $9.99. You get them
every
both.
night.
Yeah. It's the one time Warner Brothers and Disney work together to bring you the ultimate double feature.
I would last like one night and then I wouldn't wake up. I just will myself to die.
No more.
Yeah.
I killed myself in my sleep. That's how bad it was.
I just turned my brain off.
While saying Martha, right? Misa, Martha. We kind of touched on the main questions I asked them. I guess I already asked what do we want? I didn't really ask Jack that. What do you want from Infinity War? Like, what's the one thing it has to deliver on and it has to do for you to sell 11 years and 22 movies?
I want it to give a good conclusion to the team, like that has already been but like definitively be like, all right, they're done, and then like allow for like a sort of a fresh start, and like make us care a lot about this new team. Because I feel like for a while it's like, yeah, Ant-Man's cool, Doctor Strange is cool, whatever. But I want it to be like, I want to see them together. Like I want to see them work together. And I want to get excited for the next Avengers because I'll be like, oh, they did this in the last one.
Yeah, we already talked about that. Has to happen.
Yeah.
Like, well, for the Avengers side, but I guess we didn't really touch on the that other end of it, where the other, not the core Avengers, but that we've already grown to love in the Avengers movies, but the scattered heroes that aren't really part of the team.
Well, this is where they become Avengers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They have to.
Like so, like first half of the movie, we need Cap to be like Avengers Assemble, right? Which maybe would involve them all, but then there needs to be some sort of massive sacrifice to then balance out everything.
Yeah.
And then we need an Avengers, maybe not an Avengers Assemble, but something like that to where it's the new team now
Avengers.
that steps up.
Let's go.
Right?
Sorry.
Roll
Titans together. Oh wait,
I
no.
want
No.
to end with the
You
action
went-
scene from the first Avengers, like that level of like, yes, I've been waiting for this the whole movie, but with the new Avengers.
You
Like, where
actually,
they're all working
you think
together.
you're going to get that in Endgame?
I hope so, because otherwise, then why am I going to care about like, oh, Doctor Strange? I mean,
I kind of wonder if we're going to have to wait for that.
I guess maybe that could be in the next one, but it'd be nice if it was in this one, where it's like.
I
it's
agree.
just
A shred of them, like at least before everybody parts ways, right? Like a shred of the new team recognizing that it's up to them now to take up the
and
mantle.
then you know
right?
what to expect in the next one. You're like, oh, these are the Avengers I'm going to see, because I think it was so much easier in the first one because there were like 5 heroes, right?
Yeah.
And now there's so many, so it's like when you think of the new Avengers team, you're like, who's going to be in it, right?
Yeah.
If you see this is the new Avengers thing, it just helps to be like, oh, this is cool. Like this is
So,
why I want these people to be the Avengers.
We're gonna have the new Avengers team. They're gonna get totally beaten down, and it's gonna be the old Avengers that are gonna have to step in over them, over their bodies that are just
I don't want that.
laid over. And,
I don't want that either.
and,
Yeah, I
and,
kinda want the
and,
opposite,
and they're gonna
too.
have to. Well, no, but see, and then the old Avengers are gonna step in, and they're gonna be the ones that are just gonna go to town on Thanos, and Thanos is just gonna eliminate them. He's just going to kill them. He's gonna kill Tony. Gonna kill Cap. You know, he's gonna have Thor or somebody else into like this just stranglehold, and he's going to be fighting, and then you're going to see the other ones have to get up and actually just pull it together
Okay, well, then if
and
they
come over the
win,
top. You know,
all that matters is
that's
they
what it's going to
win,
have to
yeah.
be.
And then like the All Might team's going to play, and All Might's going to show up.
Plus Ultra.
All Might.
Yeah. What is it?
That's so
Detroit
weird in live
Smash?
action.
Is that what it is?
Detroit Smash.
Yeah. Denver Calamity, something like that. They're all classic
United
American.
States Smash.
Yeah. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really just I don't think that there's been quite the MCU movie that I've had as much excitement for really over the past year, like even more than Infinity
Anticipation.
War. Anticipation, maybe. Like again, I'm trying to avoid the excitement part of it, right? Like it's
So
so
much to
close.
do.
It's only a few days away. I really want to be super excited about it, but I'm also really nervous, which maybe is where that anticipation comes in, right? It's like I'm a little nervous to go see this movie. Like,
How can it live up to the hype?
yeah,
Yeah,
like how can
exactly.
it measure up? Really,
And
right?
I really got to say that's why I've been limiting the hype to what my own brain, and now you guys, thanks all you.
yeah,
It's going to be the best
count
film
on us.
ever.
Wait,
Yeah.
It's not going to be good, Jeremiah. Does that help?
Awesome.
to be honest with
You
you,
thought BVS
You're welcome.
was bad?
yeah.
Just wait.
Right.
Surprise guest director. I like to be
In a
honest with
surprise
you.
switch, Ben Affleck plays Thanos.
I would be okay if Endgame was like a middle of the road movie, really, to be honest with you. Like I would be okay if it was kind of Infinity War for me. I don't know that I can go into it expecting it to be like the best MCU movie yet. Because
It has to
again,
be.
but I don't think it.
to.
I don't know
It
that
wants
it
to be.
can be. I kind of think that the relevance of the bests that we've already seen have to culminate in this movie, and they have to also solidify that those were so good. And I think they could still be better than Endgame, right? But I think Endgame does need to recognize all those things that have already happened. So, like, in a way, I think it needs to represent the best movies, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the best one. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's got to live up to that
it
hype,
makes
but it
sense.
doesn't have to be the best MC movie yet.
It doesn't have to be.
I'm not
a
putting that
technically
on it.
perfect, perfectly placed. It doesn't have to. Doesn't get held up
Which
to
is
the same
Ragnarok,
high
by the way.
bar.
Yeah. I mean, could it just be this awesome fanfare that wraps up this awesome 11 years, and will that be enough substance to satisfy you?
Can it be just a celebration of what we've done and what we've been through?
It
and
can't
all
be
of it?
pure fan service. It can't. It has to pull all of your emotions.
Yeah. I agree. And
No, it has
again,
to.
Yeah.
I keep coming back to it has to be relevant. And it has to not only be relevant for everything before, but
Dude,
also for stuff after.
I
it has to matter
I want to hate this movie as much as I love this movie.
already.
No, I'm just saying that's what it has to do for me.
Yeah.
I have to hate it as much as I love it.
Why hate it?
Just because they make the
Oh.
tough decisions in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like I said, it has to hit every one of those
Yeah.
feels. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah. I actually want to like look back after and kind of compare because Game of Thrones is in its final season. I want to
Yes.
compare like
Which
I mean,
means-
this isn't the end.
Which means my HBO subscriptions is 3 months away from starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the end of Marvel, but I think it's like it's such a big.
It's not the end of
like,
Marvel. It's the end of
finale.
this phase.
Yeah, it's such a big finale because we've had like
The Infinity Saga. They've officially
but
named
Yeah.
it.
the Infinity Saga.
But at the same
is,
time,
like, the finale to a lot of things, so I want to compare like kind of how they do it because they're such big, very doubtful. I don't.
but we've even
Actually,
gone,
a little bit.
if you look at the MCU and the way that it's been laid out for us in the past 11 years, it went from like tentatively, let's try this, guys, and see what happens.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
let's
You like
try
Iron
it
Man?
with a character that nobody, like, diehard fans know of Iron Man, but Iron Man is not the poster boy for Marvel,
know.
No.
and it
No.
never was, right? And so let's try this gamble with this guy. You know that's what was going on at the time. This might bomb. We might not ever make another one. And then they did Hulk right after that. And then they started, well, let's see what happens if we kind of tie these together. And they started playing around with all that. And I think it's really the first time that it's kind of ever been handled in the way that Marvel's done it. And so we've gone, and those were, we got Hulk and Iron Man pretty quickly. But then after that, I think we went like a year without a movie, right?
Like
Like,
it was either
a
Thor
year or
Captain
two?
America next.
You went.
but there were like, there was like
2
a
years.
year in between them. It was like,
Wasn't
it
it?
You had
wasn't,
2 years
Oh,
until Iron Man
did-
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it went
Which is
Iron
part-
Man,
Nick Fury.
Iron Man, Hulk, then Iron Man 2, didn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And there were years in between. Like
2
to
years.
where now we get 3 Marvel movies a year,
And we're like,
right?
okay,
Yeah.
when is the next one coming out?
Yeah, and we're still chomping at the bit.
but
like,
they average out to 2.
July.
yeah. But, I mean, just in our experience with them purely being cinematic movies over the past 11 years, they've already completely changed, right? They've gone from this gamble on something that nobody was sure about to now this just worldwide phenomenon, crazy, insane success where we're not happy unless we get 3 of them in a year, right?
Yeah.
Which is insane. But now we're going to take that to the next level after this, where Disney's going to own everything, and
Yeah.
you're going to also get it in a streaming service, where now you're going to be able to get how many TV shows in a year, plus how many movies in it. Like, it's going to
For
do what it
$7
already
a
did
month.
over 11
So
years.
now here's another thing.
7?
So
But it's going to take 11 years and
Yeah,
do it in a
7.
matter of like 6 months.
God.
so
that's
so
gonna be
they're
insane.
gonna do their streaming service. We know we're getting the Scarlet Witch and Vision. We know we're getting
Loki.
Movies or shows?
shows. We
Yeah.
know we're getting Loki. We know we're getting
Winter Soldier,
Winter
Falcon.
Soldier and Falcon. Yeah. We know we're getting all that.
Yeah. So they can't
So-
die in the movie, I'm assuming.
Oh, it's like
What
some
what
between
kind
time.
of what kind of episode count do we think we need?
For those shows?
Do we do
It
one-
needs to. It needs to be tailored. There doesn't need to be a separate amount. Loki, maybe give
So you
Bucky
wanna do it
and
like-
Falcon 6. Maybe give Loki 11. I mean,
so
it
do it,
I mean, they don't.
so handle it the
I'm
way
gonna say
Netflix
no
handled it then,
more-
because Netflix had very scattered episode counts for their
Yeah.
shows.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, but the superhero ones were always like 11 or whatever. Like, they were always
13,
very
like,
structured. Or, yeah,
I'm gonna say I don't want more than 10. I don't
Yeah,
want more than
I was
10
thinking
episodes.
6 episodes.
Yeah.
like really condensed.
I was thinking making.
I don't know if you
six
noticed there. I
episode
said
seasons.
6 and 10.
Yeah. Way to go, Garrett. That's why you're the
But I
Oracle,
said-
buddy.
But I seriously
Genie in
think
the
6
bottle.
episodes is what they need.
6 longer episodes, like
Yeah,
over
like
an hour,
six
like an
hour
hour and a
episodes.
half,
Well,
hour
I think
and a
1
half to
hour-
an hour.
1 hour episodes, hour 10, hour 20. Make it fit. They don't need to fit to a specific schedule. So
No, we don't
make
need
them
a
fit.
set schedule. Make
No,
it
no.
appropriate for the story you're trying to tell.
Exactly.
If it's 45 minutes, fine. If it's 2 hours, well, okay, then you're probably gonna put it in the movie theater. But
whatever.
But I think
Yeah.
I think if they fit it to 6, maybe 8 episode seasons, I think that's all they need to do.
I think so too. Don't give me a bunch of garbage.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really hope
it's gonna get crazy,
I
man.
mean, if they do it that way though, think about
Yeah.
it. Think of how much of their budget they can throw at each episode. Then
Yeah,
they can throw a higher budget to it. They can take the time, write them. They still have the same amount of time between seasons, and if they're only writing for 6 episodes, you're probably gonna get better quality.
yeah.
And people
I
will
think
be
so.
more likely to watch them because, like, oh, it's only 6.
Yeah.
Binge it in a night.
Well, like really for me, as far like again, I love that Disney owns everything in house, right? Aside from these couple characters here and there, they basically have all of Marvel
Yeah,
now,
and
right?
we know they can rent them if they need to.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they've already proven that. But again, for me,
Heroes
I
for
think
hire.
a huge point of what made the MCU such a success and what it is today is the original gamble, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they went out on a limb with the characters that they had at their disposal and made it work and did something new because they were forced to do that, right?
Yes.
Like we would have never gotten an Iron Man movie if Disney would have had Fantastic Four and X-Men and Spider-Man the whole time. Those would have been the movies. we would have
Marvel.
got.
It would have
Marvel.
been.
Disney
What do you mean?
Disney didn't come until Avengers.
No, that's
No,
what I
no,
mean.
no, no, but
Had Disney? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But had Disney or Marvel, if they would have had access to those other characters to begin with, it would not be the MCU we have today.
No.
By any means at all. It would
would've
have been
been-
so totally different.
It would have been the DC. It would have been the individual characters like we've got before.
Yeah.
It would have been 5 Supermans. It would have been 4 Batmans. It would have been,
Yeah.
whatever. But
But at the
It was
same time,
totally
if they'd
them-
had those rights, then they would have been out of business because selling the rights is what kept them afloat when they went bankrupt
Yes.
in the 99, 98,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
So really, even to
in the 90s.
Yes.
it's I give them so much credit for coming up with kind of an original idea and making do with what they had, right? And they have so much at their disposal now that they can basically go back into that kind of recycle everything we've already done mode. And like to me, that would be the biggest mistake that Disney could make right now, is to just fall back on all those crutch heroes that they just now suddenly got the license to.
Okay, so okay.
Right? Like,
So
don't
what
do
you-
that at all.
So what you said though, of those, what they've just got the license to, right? We know that they've gotten it. They've announced they're dumping everything except for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Which one are you the most excited to see them do?
Oh my God.
I am so excited to see them do Fantastic Four and see what Disney can do with
A
Fantastic
good
Four.
Fantastic Four movie?
Yeah.
Fantastic Four is tough because I think you have to do a team movie. Like, it has to be like a Guardian.
It has to be.
Yeah,
It has
they-
to be a
they
team
can-
Like,
movie.
you can't do a
But-
Human Torch movie. You can't do a Mr. Fantastic. It
That
has to
said,
be
though,
the team.
My introduction to the comic book world was Fantastic Four.
You don't even
Yeah.
need to introduce them because it's like that's one of the things where it's like most people basically either know or can accept. Like they get the premise.
Yeah.
Of what
Yeah,
it
they
is.
don't need the origin movie. They don't.
But at the
they
same
don't need
time,
the radiation spike and watching everybody turn to
But
different things.
the Fantastic Four has always kind of presented themselves as the Boy Scout team, right? Like,
Yeah,
as
they're the family.
They're the family.
More so
They're the
than-
family friendly. They're willing to work with everybody. They're not trying to like hide their identities. They're like they are that public forward
Mr.
team,
Fantastic.
right? And which I think Marvel is in a phenomenal place to make that transition. And again, I think that would emphasize the point of I want all this to matter afterwards, right? Like I want the bystanders, I want the government in the MCU, like I want all these things to come into play with a knowledge of heroes now, right? Which would be a prime time
Well,
for
so-
Fantastic Four to step up.
Well, as I say, so
and
you've
represent.
got the Avengers Initiative, you've got all this stuff going on, you've got the government stepped in with that, all that. So this is all gets tied up, and then everything happens, and they're like, we need to do something else. This is what we're going. This is where we're going with this. Whatever. They could totally just have it be, and we have this other family that we've been keeping tabs on and know about. You guys need to get in touch with. Boom,
Or it
Fantastic
just,
Four.
or it just starts, or like they're Like at the end of the Infinity War, it's like, oh, did you hear about that radiation? Like they just allude to it like just happening then.
Yeah, or exactly.
Yeah.
That would totally
Captain
work that
Marvel
way too.
causes something crazy that causes this explosion in space. That now there's a news clip on the scene about how there was a science team out there that got caught in whatever, right? Like, well, and I think it also plays really well into the X-Men side of it, where I want them to be more the rebels, right? Like I want Fantastic Four. Well, I don't want them to do X-Men team, but I want them to do society and civilians in the MCU are aware of heroes, right?
So that
you
was
can't hide it anymore.
That was the focus about the middle run of the X-Men series cartoon.
Well, and I want that to, and it's been in the movies, and like that is the focus of X-Men.
I know, but like the cartoons though, like the initial run was them coming together as the team. The middle of the series, where it kind of fell down and kind of lost its appeal to the mass audience, is when they were really focusing on the different mutants and the different stuff, and then the individual stories between them.
In the '90s cartoon.
Yes.
Yeah. I really need. I feel like they need to bring it in that way.
You're right.
In some way,
we need a new Wolverine movie.
A new Wolverine movie. I'm cool with waiting on a Wolverine movie. I don't need that right away. And I would love for them to do like some individual characters or tie them in with somebody else or have like, do like a Winter Soldier type thing where you have your kind of buddy film with a couple people or like slowly kind of introduce the X-Men. And there's more public awareness now for just heroes in general, which is going to drag out your mutants, right? Mm-hmm. Whether they want to be there or not, which could also bring in some other villains and things. But I want them to take real baby steps with introducing those characters that we've already been beat over the head with, right? Like, I don't want the next movie to be announced to be Fantastic Four or X-Men. I sure do not want an X-Men team movie right away. I don't want that. Or if it's a solo, I don't want it to be Wolverine.
And they can really easily take the baby steps now because they have so many things that they're going to be, like so many shows and movies and everything per year that they have the ability to, see, do people want this? No? Okay.
Well, and it'd be weird with the streaming thing. Maybe it'll start going the other way like we always wanted with Netflix, right? Where maybe now the streaming will bring in new shows that will introduce characters that could now show up in movies, right?
Yeah.
It could go the other way around.
Well, now this time they're actually going to be under Marvel Studios.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like
whereas the Netflix shows, it was tied in there, but it was Marvel Television.
Yeah, it's going to be very different. Like it's already the pieces are different on the board. They just are. You gonna check? What does the magic dice say? Is it going to be different?
Most likely.
Yeah. Which is cool. I'm really on board with that. I don't want it to be the same regurgitated thing at all. I think that is one of the biggest nods I can give to Marvel. And I wouldn't say it for all their movies in the MCU. They have had their cookie cutter ones that have basically kind of been a different hero in a different suit, but same movie. But they have had movies in there that were superhero movies I'd never seen before, right? I go back to even Winter Soldier for one. Winter Soldier is one of those ones that reminds me of that like original Tim Burton Batman, where it's almost more about the villain and the growth of that than it is like the hero, right? And like that was such a cool way to do that movie, right? So many of them, they have these cool twists to them that were new ways to introduce a character. Even the first Ant-Man, it's a heist movie, right? It's such a cheesy, campy heist movie, which is so different than all the rest. It's great. Ragnarok is that way. They find these ways where every few movies they find a way again to tweak the formula, and I have a lot of respect for that, as opposed to just put a different suit on another actor and change the name in the script. Right.
I'll say so. We've got the new Joaquin Phoenix Joker trailer that will come out. I saw that. I went back and watched the original Batman again. That's still my favorite Joker.
It's tough to beat, man.
Well, you can't judge him until you've seen the whole movie, I think.
No, I know.
I think that's true.
But just from what I've seen there, and even with the gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Even with the Heath Ledger one, I really like that original one.
I guess maybe is
watch the original one.
Is that the problem with the Joker though? Is that everybody that plays the Joker takes it on as such a personal role and tries to embody that character so much because you got it. I mean,
that was the Joy Buzzer. Thank you.
Nicholson did that too, right?
Yeah.
And really, Leto, I mean, you can't blame him he did do that. Right?
Yes.
It was not the version we wanted at all.
No, not even close.
Not even
a
close.
little
But
bit.
to his credit, he did.
He did own that role.
Yeah, he did own it and like did that character the same way that so far everybody else has done too. So maybe,
Just worse.
yeah, right. Like, it's not the one I wanted. It was
Yeah.
whatever his thing, but
No.
maybe
The one
Joaquin
good thing-
Phoenix could do that too, though.
The
right?
one good thing about the Joaquin Phoenix Joker was
It's not Jared Leto.
it's not Jared
It's
Leto,
the other good thing.
but the fact that there were
That's a
so
twofer.
many
That's a bargain.
there's so many articles that Jared Leto was pissed that he got that role.
Yeah,
And that just made it worth it right there. I like him.
already sold.
I like him because of that.
Yeah. It's from what I've seen
Which
of
is
that
the
trailer.
wrong.
I'm actually kind of excited for it. I'd like to
too.
see it. Yeah, I'm
I like
curious
the more
about a villain
I
movie.
wish DC would just do more standalone things. I think they would work better that way.
That's what
And
they've always done.
that's what they've
Yeah.
said they're going to focus on more. They're not so
Thank God.
worried about a connected universe.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Shazam.
Yeah.
I need to watch that. I haven't had
I
any
need to too. I almost went and saw it the other day, and now it's not in cinema anymore. So
Yeah, I went and saw it. It's very okay. My quick summary of it: very okay. I really enjoyed it through the whole thing. It is not appropriate for you to bring your whole family to. Me and my wife went
Perfect.
to go see it. Like the trailers play it off as a very funny, campy, cheeseball-y
There's
movie.
a lot of, like,
Like it's big, only with superheroes.
Yeah, there's like points in it where demons like manifest and bite people's heads off and like throw them out windows, like decapitated and things. Like there's some pretty gory stuff in that movie. And in front of me and my wife, the whole row in front of us was like an 8-year-old's birthday party or something. And some of the people in there were like the younger brother or sister. By the end of the movie, they were sitting on their parents' lap. Like with, don't watch, right? Like, and I don't blame them at all. I would have totally regretted bringing my little kid to that movie. But the way the trailer sold it was like, it's totally fine, right?
he's doing the
And
Fortnite
even has
dance.
like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, even like, spoiler alert, but the Shazam family is in the movie, right? So they even bring that point into it all. But I would not say that is totally okay for everybody in the family.
Yeah.
Do not bring them all to that movie. It's kind of, I remember seeing all those kids in front of me and thinking, I kind of feel bad for them. I wouldn't have done that. Like, I kind of feel bad for those kids. And I'm not the most conservative person in the world, so right? I don't know.
That's an understatement to have.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not quite like my brother. I wouldn't let my kids watch Deadpool, but somewhere in between there.
I don't know. Deadpool's not. I mean, if kids
Once
young
Upon a
enough,
Deadpool was all right.
Yeah, I never saw it.
I didn't see
It was on HBO. I watched it. It's all right. I mean, it's funny, but
What was it?
it's PG-13 Deadpool too.
Is it like 30 minutes long? Is it even that long?
No,
15
no.
minutes?
Whenever they do stuff where they would cross that PG-13 threshold, they flash back to Fred Savage, who's tied to a bed wearing the same sweater that he wore in Princess Bride.
okay.
Yeah.
And Deadpool's pretending to be the grandpa telling him the story of Deadpool too.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
that's how you're on when you get to something that would be
So-
wildly
so-
inappropriate. It'll flash back to them and they'll have an exchange.
So
Yeah.
instead of the round Deadpool logo, it just goes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still stand by that's how I want them to handle Deadpool's introduction in the MCU. I want him in there.
The more I think about that,
I want him to break that fourth wall with the audience and be talking to the audience, and the other Avengers are
can
like,
you believe this shit?
what? Yeah, and
But it's like,
every
can
time
you
he
believe this
swears,
beep?
yeah, you get the logo over his face. He's confused to why he can't swear. He talks to the audience about how he can't swear, and the other Avengers are like, who the hell are you talking to, man? What a fight we gotta do, right? Like I want that scene in the movie.
Yeah.
That would be so true to Deadpool and just everything he represents.
Yep.
Don't do it in Endgame.
I can totally see
Yeah,
Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds coming up with that too.
Yeah, like totally being on board with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in his movie, he can be as raunchy as he wants and swear and whatever, but when he's in the MCU
yeah.
stuff, he has to now have the PG-13 censorship, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't get it either as Deadpool, but
Yeah.
he's totally aware that
He's
it's
totally
happening. to
aware
him.
that this thing he's like
Yeah.
trying to grab the thing off his mouth.
Yeah, like he can even pull it off, but there's just another one there, right? It's like, what the? Yeah, it would be great. I would love to
It's
see
like the
it.
box of Kleenexes or the
Yeah.
scarves up the sleeve.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, I guess really that's the other part of the merger with the Fox and the Disney that I haven't really thought of is that who's to say that just because Fox came in, that suddenly all those people that worked for Fox are gone, right? So you do have that other massive talent pool that now they can also dive into also. And if they utilize both of their talent pools really well, and do that like Deadpool crossover, or like who knows what else is out there.
Didn't Disney buy the studios proper?
I think they outright bought everything.
Yeah. They got everything, which means they got the people too.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's like, there's potential there for, if Disney isn't going to totally fight Fox on what they were doing, but find a way to coexist, kind of. And now you've just increased your talent pool also, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, there's potential there that you could suddenly open the doors for all these other cool new things to happen in the MCU. It could get saturated and get crazy, and they could just take the easy bait, but at the same time, it could go the other way, where it really actually gets even more intricate, and they utilize their stuff even better than what they had before. Like, who knows, right? I think that would be a really optimistic outcome. It'd be great.
I think that we're going to get both of those. We're going to get the movie that is just totally the low hanging fruit.
Yes,
and
I think if anything, even the MCU movies have proven that.
Yeah.
Like, as we've gotten more saturated with MCU, you're going to get those placeholder movies, so you get 3 a year.
But also, as they've proven, you're going to get the ones that are truly cared about, and they take that route.
Yeah.
And they support that when they do it too.
Yeah.
So,
well, maybe that's even another angle to bring in as far as like how relevant Endgame needs to be. It needs to be relevant for us as fans. Like, it really does.
Yeah.
It needs to be relevant for the newcomer that's coming in for the next phase of it.
All three
needs
of
to
them.
be relevant for them. Yeah. It needs to matter for everything they've already done and everything they're going to do. But more than anything, it probably needs to be relevant for Disney. Like, this movie needs to matter to Disney, and it needs to be as important to them and for all their future projects as it is to us.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that, I think, is probably the most important thing. They need to look at Endgame from the same boat that they looked at Iron Man originally from, to where let's do something that's different, and let's take a risk with this, and let's sell this thing. Like, let's make this epic and awesome, and let's make it last 10 years, right? They have to do it again, and basically they're ending what they've done, but they're kind of starting such a crazy phase. It's gonna be insane, man. You're gonna get we already.
I feel for yourself more. Don't get disappointed.
It's like
it's gonna happen.
I already feel like we get too many Marvel movies in a year. You're going to get that.
I don't feel like we get too many.
You don't think? I think we're like borderline, man. Yeah.
I say we all listen to podcasts here.
Yeah.
So what happens when you listen to a podcast that has a main theme that they follow, and they follow this main theme, and they build up. You follow them from the beginning. You see their success. You see them building, and you see them grow. Right? You too.
Well,
right?
I'm more of a bandwagon jumper, but I get your point.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So you jump in and look back and seeing how they've grown.
Can you name a podcast that's done that? I'm struggling to think of any.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, you jump in there, you see this, and then they always seem to come to a culmination point, and then they jump to a new path.
Yeah.
And when they do that, there's 40 to 60% dropout to their listenership. Every single one of them. Doesn't matter with what they're doing, if what they go to is good or not, is they lose 40 to 60%, and they have to rebuild that.
Yeah.
So do you think there's a way?
I think we're going to see that happen, regardless with what they're doing.
Is there a way that Marvel could handle it so that those of us that have been so in love with the movie side of it don't need to have Disney streaming to appreciate the whole full scope of it? Or are they going to pigeonhole us into you have to now pay for Disney whatever?
They're going to sheerly for the dollar.
You think so?
No. They're going to put the stories that are going to keep us super engaged into that.
Yeah, they're gonna make it so you have to get the service.
Yeah. They're gonna sell a new story.
But to be fair, I have to get the service as it is anyway. So, I mean, that's not really on them.
Exactly.
I mean, like when you're reading a
Gary's like,
comic-
I've already got it. I pre-ordered the service. I can't stream it right now, but I can look at the menu screen.
Yes.
Yeah, I
It
can see.
unlocks,
I can see unable to connect to server.
Yeah.
It was $75, and it was titled Battlefront.
Yeah.
Like when you read a comic and then it says like read this issue of this other comic, and that comic says read this.
Dude,
issue
okay,
of this other
so
comic.
I hope, beyond hope, that they do that.
That would be pretty cool, man.
In the
Watch
freaking
episode 5 of like
no, seriously. So like if they're in the streaming service and they've got the shows they're doing and there's all these characters that are broke off into that, I hope they make references, and in that reference it pops up, see Avengers 2 or whatever.
Yeah,
or
that would
see,
be pretty cool,
dude,
actually.
how-
I mean, it's something that will come eventually. I'm pretty sure.
right?
I think it's also going to have to, just as a service to us as fans, because there's going to be so much of it.
Well,
right?
so
Like, you're going to have to
but it would
weed
be
through all this.
that would be the biggest nod to the comics you could ever have.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I would actually be really on board with that.
Yeah.
I would be into it.
If they would kind of copy what DC is doing with DC Universe, where like if you search, say, Justice League, it'll bring up movies and TV, and then underneath that will be animated series.
Garbage.
And underneath that will be comics.
Sorry.
And underneath that will be.
So the
But, I
animated
mean, it's
series,
full
though,
reference.
the animated series is solid for DC.
pretty good.
Yeah.
They do
The movie's
amazing.
good.
But I mean, and it's all in one place, and you can just jump. So like when that would pop up, it would be right there in the app, and it would connect you, to like Marvel.
Oh, of course,
and
yes.
You could read it.
Yeah, dude, point and click.
DC,
man. It's a point and-
DC Universe has it all
gonna
in
be-
there.
It's going to be a
How
new
expensive
point
is
and
the
click
DC
adventure.
app?
Yes.
How expensive is the DC app? Jack was asking. $6.99? Something
I
like
want
that?
to say it's $7.99 or $75 for the year.
That is cheap.
Yeah. Which Disney, I heard, is going to be something similar, $6.99 a month or
Yeah.
$69 or $70 a year.
Yeah,
So you save
$6.99 a month.
Save
or
a couple months by
$74.
get it for a year.
69.
Well, Gary, you're cool to reconvene with us on the actual review episode. We have to have you back, man.
Yes, I'm totally down for that.
We're going to do that, and I hope that all of our dreams come true that
I'm
we've
really
hoped for
excited
this
to
movie.
talk about it after. I want to watch
A
it like
dream
right after
is
watch-
oh wait, no,
watch
that's
this
the wrong
after,
Disney song.
And then like go and
I
Check
don't
it out.
know.
Yeah. I'm going to go see it a couple times. I went and saw the first one a couple times. I had to see it once just because it was intense and just
Yeah.
like
I'm seeing it on
everything
the
was
premiere
crazy.
Thursday
So much, so
I've seen it
fast.
Friday.
in a
Yeah.
nice theater.
I'm going to RPX in Otherwood.
Nice. It's worth it, right?
I'm going to the
Or the Dolby, yeah, man, whatever it is. Whatever they're big.
Yeah,
I
no,
might
wait.
go-
Are you in the Alderwood Mall
Yeah.
with the seats that go back?
Well, the ones that like 5% of them recline.
I'm going there too.
Nice. Which one of you guys got me a ticket? You guys didn't give
we
me a
used the
ticket?
Well,
Fandango
That
thing.
should be the intern. Right?
You're going to take your girlfriend instead of me? Is that what you just said to me?
I say.
With the gift card I gave you? Oh my god. I
We-
didn't.
we tried
Okay,
to,
next time the stipulation is the gift card's meant for you and me. It's a buddy date.
I was just gonna say, when we tried to go, we tried to get Thursday, but it didn't happen. And
No, we
Josh,
have the front row. We're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I was gonna say, Josh, cheer captain Josh, got tickets for Thursday or Friday night. I mean, so
Yeah.
Well,
Well, if the
technically-
movie's bad, at least
technically
Jack can
Saturday.
make out. What are you gonna do?
what am I gonna do? Eat
The
popcorn?
theater's gonna be it's gonna be so cool.
Josh will have plenty of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's why he's a good movie date.
yeah.
You got plenty of popcorn. Yeah.
Well, he's got to buy the big tub that you can refill, so he can refill it before he leaves, so he can bring popcorn to his kids.
Yeah, because he's got like an arm, like 20 children. He's got to feed them somehow. Josh has to go see a movie once a
5
week
kids.
just so he can feed his family.
Yeah, exactly.
Gary, who are you gonna go see the movie with?
Friend Carissa and Ron.
Okay. Was that 2 people? 1 person?
Yes, yeah, friends, Carissa and Ron. They're
Chris
my
and Ron.
rides. Yeah, they're
Nice,
my rides.
nice. Oh, nice. I like
Nice.
it. I'm probably gonna drag my wife to see it, and then I might have to just go see it once on my own. Maybe I'll go with my dad.
I probably want to see it with my dad. That'd be cool.
I'm going to see it,
Who's that guy?
and I guarantee I'm going to see it again in the Stanley Theater. Just
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna go see it twice. We'll reconvene. We'll discuss it. I'm curious to see if any of our little theories or predictions, or if you can tell any of that from the movie.
I know
Like,
I'm
who
right.
knows? But it's It's super epic.
I've said everything.
So
that
worth
possibly happens.
doing a show for. Thank you so much, Gary, for joining us. As always,
Dude,
you
I
are
was down for
the
it.
Marvel Oracle, and we're going to have you back.
The Marvel
thank you,
Oracle, which is a DC
Jack, for
character.
bringing up the rear. You're so good at it. And thank you, Jay, for being here like always. And you pour the beer like a master.
Of course I do.
Not as good as this
You
guy.
saw that I practiced plenty tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, until we actually see it, go on our Twitter account, give us a hard time, and like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends. And best podcast ever. I'm sure of it.
To all the
That's
nerds.
right.
Through all the fuzz.
For all the fuzz.
Bottoms up.
Let's
get nerd
buzzed.
buzzed. Oh, we didn't do that in the beginning, huh?
I
Do
know.
the outro
Save the
video.
best for
Don't
the
stop
last.
recording. Outro video.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jack. That's why I need
Everybody's
him here.
rusty.
I thought I
Talking
was
about
there.
beer. Talking about
You are.
nerd culture.
You thought
Sing over Jack.
You're on
Nerd
Nerdbuzzed. Marcus and Jeremiah. You're
Something
on
about
Nerdbuzzed.
You
Go see
sound
the
like
movie.
Miles at
Tell
the
us what you
beginning
think in
of
the
this
comments.
Nerdbuzzed.
I still haven't seen that.